much more aggressive in their aggressive in their.
Which is almost a oxymoron.
Hey, turn your radio down, Bill.
Let's well, hey, good news. The live stream is up and running. Um, I have arrived at the golf course. I'm trying to get away from my iPad that I had in the car. I tell you what, we're all set. We're going to be good to go this morning. Let's do this. Let's go to our next break, and when we come back, we'll be all set. I'm out here at Fort Jackson. I have to track down Preston now, so I'm going to be a person just wandering the grounds, but I am at least out of my car. Preston, I'll locate you in a second. We'll act like we're professional radio.
Bill, I have eyes on you. If that makes you feel really nervous, but I can see you and you can't see me. So how about that?
I love that.
No, I can't. And you're right. It's still a little dark out here, but I have arrived, and I have been able to get away from my iPad to make it sound a little bit more professional. We're having a good time. It's a Friday morning. The weekend is here. South Carolina's up 1-0 on Florida in a big series. There's a great golf tournament happening today, a great event. We'll tell you more about that when we come back. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
At 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Hey, this is Preston here for Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. If your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshields, no problem. They'll come out to you and they'll give you a free quote for any job. If you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows or mirrors, Absolute Glass will come out and take care of all of that for you. So windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. You hear me say it all the time. You can see through it. Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
Plus, text second title, approved credit call, 888-263-59 for details. JT's Kia just received nearly 200 new Kias, fresh off the truck, and we're trying to move them quick. So while they last, you can get a spanking new Kia from $18,990. Drive the perfect SUV crossover, the Kia Sorento, for just $239 a month. And your credit problem is no longer a problem when you see JT. Don't miss these deals. Rush to JT's Kia, Killian Commons Parkway, jtskia.com.
When you think about spring, good stuff springs to mind. You know, like spring break. Woohoo! A friend springing for drinks.
Thanks, dude.
A springing step. Spring fever.
Oh, behave.
And best of all, spring water dough pizza from the Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers.
Yeah, baby!
Experience the taste of spring with our amazing hand-tossed pies, spring fresh salads, and over 100 beers from around the world. Enjoy spring at the Mellow Mushroom in the Vista and on Sunset in Lexington.
Hey Gamecocks, Ben Cato, third generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. It's official. We've traded pollen for heat, and it's here to stay. Want our advice? Don't sweat this summer trying to get your gas lawn equipment to crank. Skip the pump and the pricey services by investing in battery power from Steel. From hedge trimmers to chainsaws, lawnmowers and blowers, Steel has dozens of battery-powered tools designed for the homeowner and professional. Drop the hassle and get the most out of your work. In stock and charged up at Cato's Power Equipment.
Taylor Bisciotti, NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The NFL Draft is now less than a week away, and Alabama quarterback Bryce Young is expected by many to be the first overall pick. Hearing on NFL Network Thursday, Young would not reveal if the Panthers have told him he's their guy, but he had great things to say about their organization.
Been able to talk to them, and they have a very clear plan of what they want for the future and what they've been building. And it was just a great opportunity for me, a great experience. And I learned a lot just from hearing about their philosophies on and off the field.
Another top quarterback prospect had an interesting final pre-draft visit. Kentucky quarterback Will Levis Patriots Wednesday. New England, of course, drafted Mac Jones in round 1 just 2 years ago. Elsewhere, Giants general manager Joe Schoen says he's not sure if Saquon Barkley will report to training camp amid a contract dispute. Barkley has not been present for voluntary workouts, and Schoen says they haven't spoken for several weeks. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgranger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
I know. I was like
1075 The Game Traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of
Here's
Corrections.
lonesome.
Department of Corrections is hiring statewide.
Yeah,
Correctional officers can now make
you must be able to not okay.
in their first year.
I don't know if you're okay, but I can hear you okay.
18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey everyone, good morning and happy Friday. It's time for your First Alert Traffic Update. With a live check around the region early on, we have not seen anything with major changes, backups, confirmed collisions, causing slowdowns for you around the Midlands, capital city of Columbia. This is, of course, going to be something as we push on into the day. We'll make sure to keep you posted of any changes. Always keep checking back for your First Alert Traffic Update to help you plan out your travels. This has been a First Alert again Traffic Update. I'm WIS meteorologist Tony Chiaroli.
What we're talking about on 1075 The Game. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
All right. Yep.
6:27 on a Friday morning is we are now officially up and running, Preston. That was we knew. So we're out here. We're live at Fort Jackson. It is the McDaniels Golf Classic this morning. It's going to be a lot of fun. Great tournament taking place out here at Fort Jackson. They've got it set up. They've got the tables and the chairs and the tents, and they're getting all geared up this morning. I understand the Gilbert golf team may actually be out here setting things up, helping to get ready. Bryson and Tyler McMurray, I have to track them down. I have to be their father for today to make sure that they're okay, because I understand their father is still laying in bed because he was in a golf tournament yesterday and he's worn out. So we're doing all kinds of jobs out here. We're a radio show of the people, Preston, as we get up and get going. But it's beautiful out here. The morning, it's going to be a great day for golf. Absolute great day for golf.
Yeah, like I said, it's just a little bit chillier than I anticipated. I'm going to make this run to the car here in a minute, get a blanket or something, and then we'll be in prime position. But I've never been out here, Bill, and it's beautiful. Like I said, the sun is rising, the birds are chirping, the greens look like they're perfectly manicured. We're sitting here by the putting practice, so I might get some of those in. But it's a nice day.
I do actually have the clubs in the car, so I'm ready to go myself. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in this morning, be a part of the program. Again, going back to last night, I forgot about the play because so many things happened after it that kind of jump-started. But you all right, that's an interesting play in baseball that we saw last night. Kind of a dribbler, maybe is the best way to describe down third base, the third base line, the third baseman not able to quite make the play. The ball after the bag, which by rule, if the ball bounces foul after the bag, it is a fair ball. It's where it crosses the bag at, obviously. That was a very interesting play because it did seem to give Florida some adversity. You saw the body language change a little bit. And then from there, things went drastically downhill for the Gators. And Preston is a baseball player, and I'm interested. I'll get the text line up here in a minute, too, if you want to weigh in on the Firehouse Subs text line. But as a baseball player, a person who played first base, so you have to experience the ball going over the bag and the things that kind of can occur in those situations. What did you make of that play?
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't quite get to the ball, but, I mean, the rule, as I've always remembered, and I'm pretty sure it hasn't changed, is you field the ball regardless, and then you let the umpire make a call. He couldn't quite get there, but you never want to hope for the umpire to make the right call because, I mean, there's a good chance that they won't make the right call. So you always want to make sure that you field the ball. And that was kind of one of those moments where he was hoping that maybe he would get the right call. And then Then you resort to it, but it was foul over the bag, and then everybody also knows the rules, and you just hoping for something. And it seemed like that was a play where a team that was in their right mind would have just – it was still 2 outs. So it wasn't as if that had to be something that just totally made the team implode, but obviously they couldn't get their pitching together. So you never know when the play is going to come, and it could just be on a dribbler that turns into a double, and then all of a sudden we don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it certainly that was a big play, and then again the Florida pitchers kind of went off the rails a little bit, and then it's Petry who steps in and kind of delivers the big blow. So now big picture here as we sit here at 6:30 on a Friday morning after a Thursday night game. What can South Carolina do next? I hate that it's gone from, okay, I wonder what they're going to do to now what can they do next to impress us? They've lined up and battered LSU around pretty good on an opening night. They took a game from Vanderbilt on opening night before unfortunately dropping the next 2 last weekend. They kind of do it again. This is a team, and credit Mark Kingston, credit, Monty Lee, credit Scott Wingo, credit Justin Parker, credit all those coaches over there. It seems like, Preston, on Friday night, they have that team ready to go. They blew the game. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it was. They blew the game against LSU on they won the Thursday night game and then blew the first game on Friday late there. But they were in position to take 2 from LSU. Last week, it was some errors, a controversial call in the outfield that kind of changed things in the Vanderbilt series. This team, we talk about the players. And for all that we've kind of said, for all that's been said about Mark Kingston the last several years, Preston, give him a lot of credit for the job he's done this year.
Yeah, he's got the team ready to go. And to his credit, he said that they've been to be patient. And at the beginning of the year, he said that this team was going to be good, and they are good. He was obviously had his sort of back against the wall with the expectations that we have as a fan base, and they haven't quite met those expectations consistently. But this team is right there now, and Jamie's been pounding this. Been on the table saying this whole time, and I don't know whether or not we've as a show have been reluctant. I've kind of been reluctant, but I think it's pretty clear that this is one of the best teams in the nation, and they're in the mix. Any conversations that you're having about super regionals or Omaha, you have to include this team.
I want to go back to what you brought up there to kind of start the show, to kind of get discussing it about the atmosphere last night, and that's another big reason you want to be a top 8 seed. And that conversation, I think, now takes precedent over some of the other things we've discussed because South Carolina's in that position. They're in that position. This is not a matter now of will they host or will they make the tournament. This is now you're starting to look at the whole deal and go, okay, Founders Park, again, has some of the most knowledgeable baseball fans that are out there. They have an atmosphere that is really unmatched. And South Carolina baseball fans, if you're an owner of a company and you find out your employees are South Carolina baseball fans, you better start going ahead and planning for regional weekends to lose some employees. The employees are magically going to be sick. I can go ahead and tell you that a flu bug is going to sweep Columbia, I believe, the second weekend. I don't have my calendar right in front of me as we're out here, but go ahead and plan for a lot of random sickness on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or a Friday, Saturday, Sunday coming up the first weekend when South Carolina hosts when they likely host a regional, and then really count on that bug kind of extending another week if South Carolina hosts a super regional, because Gamecock fans get very excited for that, and it gives them a great chance to get back to a place that is home, that's Omaha, that they are accustomed to being at.
Yeah, and the fans feel as if, again, you could see it because the broadcast was remote, and that's a whole nother conversation, I guess, but you couldn't necessarily hear it as much, but you could see it popping through the screen when the fans were getting involved, when they were getting up on 3-2 counts, when the bases were loaded, when they were choosing to make noise. And as you said, it wasn't just that they were just there, but they're involved. They're part of the game. They're part of the team. And obviously Florida has a great home environment also, but when things are starting to go off the rails a little bit, and you're starting to walk players and you can't seem to find the plate as a pitcher, that's when the home crowd advantage starts to come in, because you do play a part in messing with the confidence of a team, and especially a young pitcher. I believe they had a freshman pitcher on the mound yesterday for Florida, and he just couldn't find the plate, which, if he was one of our guys, I would have empathy for him, but oh well, he plays for the other team. So he just couldn't find the plate, and I'm sure he will. But last night it wasn't his night.
803-404-6100, how you can be a part of the program this morning. Let's put it back into your own perspective. There had been a down period for South Carolina football prior to you arriving. That year, y'all got off to the great start. You knock off New Mexico State your freshman year. You followed up with the Georgia victory. The Mississippi State victory was incredible. You lost to Alabama. But when things have been a bit of a downturn, when you're not, and let's be honest, the fan base here is accustomed to baseball success. The fan base is used to this program competing at the highest level possible in college baseball. The current players here are not. I mean, it's been lean years. Last year was the first losing season in 26 years. And again, that's why I say you give a lot of credit to Mark Kingston for what he's done and rebuilding the roster, doing all the things he's got to do. But Preston, inside the locker room, inside the head of a player, when you're doing things like this, like y'all were doing in 2000, coming off of 1-10 and 0-11, what is the mindset of the player who has been beaten down a little bit from a year prior, like South Carolina baseball just had?
Yeah, this is I think about a lot of those guys who had to endure the Brad Scott era, and they got a chance to really work themselves to the years that we were coming in with Lou Holtz, and those guys were super appreciative of being able to have a chance to compete, being able to win. I was almost a spoiled brat in the sense I was like, oh, this is just how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to win. We're supposed to win 8 games every year. We're supposed to win 9 games. But a lot of times the players who have been there before, who can understand the lean times, they really appreciate it, and they're the ones that really have the gratitude for the fans being out there in full force that they were.
We talk about the jump physically, fundamentally, all those things from high school to college.
Mm-hmm.
You played on one of the most historic. You've played for one of the most historic programs in the state. You played for a legendary coach in John McKissick. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I followed your high. I don't remember, and I'm not sure if you remember 25 years ago what your records were in high school and what you did. But y'all were a winning program.
Very tremendous.
You came from a program that had a culture and foundation of winning. And you came to a program that was 1-21, I believe, 1-something, whatever it was like that. You came to a program that not only the previous 2 years had been bad, but historically, obviously, we know the results. How much does a young player coming in who doesn't know the past, but comes from a winning culture, how much can a player like, and I don't know what Ethan Petrie's record was in high school baseball. I know he's really good, but I don't know what his team did if they won a state championship. But you've had an influx of talent here. And when you have a new mindset in the locker room, one that's not accustomed to a losing record in baseball last year or doesn't understand being 0-11 the year prior, it comes from winning programs. What does that mindset do in a locker room?
It's the beauty of being young and dumb. Young, and you can just have a supreme overconfidence in yourself that this is going to be, I'm the person that's going to change this thing, or we're going to be the class that changes everything. It's probably not realistic, but that's the beauty of being young. You don't know, you don't have any reverence for the past. You think everything is happening now. And sometimes that's a great concept, because you can come in and you don't care what the previous teams were, because they brought me in to get this thing right. And Ethan and the rest of those crew, they feel that way. They're like, oh, we're here now. So now we get a chance to make a bunch of plays. It's very similar. That's how every freshman feels coming. It's like, oh yeah, I know y'all were terrible before.
Let's go back. I will let you. You have mentioned his name on air, and you've told the story. And I forget if you told the story on air, but you had a particular freshman. Well, you had a particular recruit freshman signed with South Carolina that y'all would be sitting there, and he'd be kind of rounding everybody up, saying it's not going to be like this when we get this. We're going to be the ones. And then he didn't last more than 4 days in fall camp. So
yeah, we had, and that's why I say sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. That particular person did not end up making it through the first week or 2 days.
But in the recruiting process, we are changing the culture.
He had everybody galvanized. It's like, man, they bringing us in here to change these. And he was sort of talking about the players on the team like they were sorry. He's like, man, those guys, that's the old guys, and we're going to come in here and change things. And I remember, like I said, my mother being like, oh, that kid's not going to make it. And sure enough, he did not make it. So there is a balancing act between young, dumb confidence and then actually being capable, like Ethan is, to actually enact some change. So yeah, there is something to that.
803-404-6100 this morning if you want to weigh in and be a part of the program. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen. Preston and I are out here, Fort Jackson Club at the golf club today. We're getting ready for the McDaniels Acura Golf Classic. It's an absolutely phenomenal event, does a lot of phenomenal things, and the sun is rising. Now, Preston, remember, what was it, several weeks ago during the time change, we started commenting the sun starts to come up a little bit earlier. The days, of course, people were like, no, the sun comes up at the same time. It's just now, well, but here we are. You look today, and now as we sit here at 6:30, 6:40 to be exact,
It's bright.
it's nice out here. The weather is it is a little chilly. Both of us are in shorts, but it is going to be a beautiful day for golf out here, and we look forward to being a part of it. Big day here at 107.5 The Game. We're all over the place this morning. You can kind of go and hang out with whomever you'd like. After us today, in the bonus, the Extra Point Gamecock Central will all be at, or the Gamecock Central takeover hour, all be at Firehouse Subs in Camden, west of Cab Street, from 9 to noon. Terry and Jay, the halftime show, will be live at Chubby's in Blythewood. They'll be promoting our craft beer passport. We got more baseball tonight, 6:45 first pitch, 6:45 pregame. 7 o'clock first pitch. So we got a lot going on here with 107.5 The Game. And Preston, myself, Jen, we're all getting it going this morning here at the McDaniels Golf Classic out at Fort Jackson Golf Club. Should be a lot of fun. The golf shop's not even open yet because Preston and I think Jen knows that I like to complain. We'll do just a little. It is a little chilly this morning.
It's like I said, a little bit colder than I anticipated. I am about to make a run to the car to see what emergency stash of blankets, pullovers, or something we have in there.
803
So you guys aren't gonna just snuggle, like I can see you two kind of huddled.
We are a little bit closer than we normally are in studio right now. We are actually a little bit closer than we normally are. In the studio, so yes, but the snuggling, we may
it hasn't reached that cold yet, Jim.
yeah. It's
I'm not above that, but it's not that we're not that dire yet.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
Just checking. I mean, because and again, going back to another Friends reference, when Joey and Ross found that perfect nap position, and it's two guys getting really comfortable, cuddled up, and taking a really good nap. So I'm just picturing you guys, all snuggled up out on the golf course.
Radio
Sweet.
program doesn't. If you take a nap, if the host take a nap during the radio program, I think the owners of the radio station frown upon that. I believe there's no napping.
I wasn't saying take a nap. I'm just saying, get all comfortable together. It's a bonding experience.
I am looking at a golf shop that it looks very warm, but the lights are off and it's not open. Like I am looking at a building that I'm like, I bet there's heat in there. 803-404-6100. Our promotions director's in the car.
Smart girl.
She did her job.
She's done what she needed to do, and she's gotten in the car.
She got there on time.
Again, it was, well, y'all know this. The coordination we had for working this thing out was really interesting. I actually, as stupid as it may sound, I actually hit all the marks and the times that I was trying to hit. So we accomplished that more than enough. 803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll get into a few other things. A lot of playoff action last night, NHL and NBA. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We are very social. At 107.5 The Game on Twitter, 107.5 The Game on Instagram, and 107.5 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Yeah, got it. Oh, summer it's just around the corner. It's swim season. That's right. You come home after a long day of work today. You've had a busy week. You're exhausted. You want to watch a little baseball. I know a lot of people that hop in their pool, float around, have their beverage of choice, maybe have a nice TV outside, and they enjoy their backyard pool. And one of the reasons they enjoy it is they use Corley Pool Solutions to maintain their pool. Let Corley Pool Solutions do all the hard work while you rest and relax in your own personal pool. Call Tracy Corley with over 20 years of experience. Call him today to get him out to your house. 803-445-8109. That's how you can get in touch with Corley Pool Solutions today. Let them Maintain your pool and do it all for a flat rate price, including the chemicals. That's right, no hidden fees. Flat rate price, including the chemicals. Let them take care of the worry and stress that you have trying to maintain your pool. Let somebody who's experienced, who's a professional in the industry like Tracy Corley, maintain your pool. Call him today, 803-445-8109. You don't want to come home this afternoon and the pool have pollen in it, have leaves in it, and now after a long day of work, you have to do the cleaning. Let an expert do it. Let somebody who's been around the block, who knows what they're doing, who knows how to clean that pool, have it maintained and ready to use this afternoon. That's Corley Pool Solutions, 803-445-8109. Contact Corley Pool Solutions today. Tell them you heard it here on 107.5 The Game with Bill Gunner.
Sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry and shop the final days of Springfest at Lowe's. Save on select Bonnie 19.3-ounce vegetables and herbs, 3 for $12. Because Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 4/26. Available in-store only. Actual plant size varies. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
This is Monster Jam! See the legendary Gravedigger and more tear up the dirt with massive stunts, all-out racing, and crazy skills. It's adrenaline-charged fun for the whole family.
Let's hear it! Make some noise!
Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Colonial Life Arena this weekend. Brought to you by BKT Tires and Great Clips. Visit monsterjam.com today.
Bill Gunner here for AAA Heating and Air. They were out at my house recently installing my brand new system, and I couldn't be more pleased with it. I'm telling you what, AAA Heating and Air, with their experienced professional technicians, I have taken care of my family, and they'll do the same for you. Right now, 0% financing, a $1,500 buyback, and a 15-year parts and labor warranty. Contact AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Plus, takes entitled with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for details. Buy a Ram and buy it at JT's Dodge Land on Greystone. We have truckfuls and truckfuls of Rams. South Carolina's truck giant stays stocked. Up to $11,000 off on a new 2022 Bighorn Ram. Or take one for just $359 a month. Save $5,000 on new Durangos, Chargers, and Challengers. Credit concerns? Not with JT. The truck giant says yes, you can. It's Ram Truck Month at JT's Dodge Land on Greystone. JT'sDodge.com.
Uneven sidewalks, pool decks, or patios? Canty can repair them for just a fraction of the cost of replacement. Call Canty Foundation Specialists today for your free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Uneven concrete can be a dangerous tripping hazard leading to injury. Call the experts at Canty to permanently repair your sinking or cracked concrete. Call 753-1495 or visit CantyCanFixIt.com. Canty can fix it.
Spring just around the corner. You want to make sure that pool out back is looking beautiful and ready to be used. Contact Corley Pool Solutions today. How about this? They are less expensive than actually using the pool store. That's right. Tracy Corley and his team are ready to help you today. Give them a phone call, 803-445-8109. They'll maintain your pool. Make sure that pool looks absolutely fabulous. So call them today, 803-445-8109.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
The demand for your used car is at an all-time high, and it's never been worth more. Herndon Chevrolet needs your trade. We'll buy your car, even if you don't buy ours. And to prove it, we're willing to beat any written offer by $500. That's right, we'll beat any written offer by $500. Visit Herndon Chevrolet today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile. Smile.
803-630-5929 for more details. Sponsored by TrainInfo.com. Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TrainInfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. TrainInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, good morning and happy Friday. It's time for a First Alert traffic update. With a live check around the region early on, we have not seen anything with major changes, backups, confirmed collisions, causing slowdowns for you around the Midlands. In capital city of Columbia, this is of course going to be something as we push on into the day. We'll make sure to keep you posted of any changes. Always keep checking back for your First Alert traffic update to help you plan out your travels. This has been a First Alert again traffic update. I am WIS meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
6:50 on a Friday morning. What's going to be a beautiful Friday. I think tomorrow, Preston, is the questionable day in terms of weather. We'll talk more about that coming up in hours 2 and 3, how it could impact the baseball game tomorrow. But last night, South Carolina, a very nice win, 13-3 over the Florida Gators, 10-run ruling them after 7 innings. I'm having a hard time getting used to that rule. I like it, I think. I think you mentioned as we opened the program, you were very fond of it. A lot of people watching on television at home were very fond of it. They were able to get to bed kind of early, or it opened the door last night to flip over to maybe a little bit of NBA playoffs. Have you dug into those a little bit more this week? As a few storylines, Draymond Green stomping on people, Kawhi Leonard's injured, James Harden is committing flagrant fouls.
Oh boy. Flagrant is not the word for what James Harden did. He deserves the full brunt of the NBA discipline committee because what he did was egregious and he violated not only personhood but manhood. James Harden deserves everything that they throw at him.
Harden repeatedly saying it was unacceptable, though, that he was called for the flagrant foul on Nets forward Royce O'Neal and ejected late in the game of that particular game. Unbelievable kind of NBA is taking on a WWE type. Like, all right, we need some attention, we need some exposure. Let's have Draymond Green do a little chest stomp, and then. Let me go back to this Draymond Green thing, because we didn't get enough into it yesterday with Liv Thompson, who will be back with us next week. What I'm going to say is going to be really stupid, and I just don't have a better way to say it. It's not that I'm okay with the chest stomp. Mm-hmm. That's unacceptable. I don't want my kid or any kid doing that to my kid or anything. We've got an AAU basketball tournament this weekend. We got stuff going on. I don't want any kids doing that. It's the actions that Draymond Green had afterwards, kind of egging on the crowd in Sacramento. The way that bothered me actually more, if that makes sense, than the actual, chest stomp that he performed.
Yeah, if y'all are listening to this show, you know I have a proclivity to pick out annoying players, and Draymond is absolute first team all annoying dude, right?
Right. Yes.
That's what he's built his brand on. He's an agitator.
I'm not even sure he's the, more time you'd say like he's the guy that you love him if he's on your team, but you hate him if he's on the opposite team. I'm not even sure he's the guy that you love if he's on your team.
Exactly. That's exactly the point, because not only has he gotten himself kicked out of this game in which they ended up winning, which shows how weird and goofy the NBA is, but he does this so consistently for his team, takes away from the tremendous talent that Steph Curry is and how great a job Steve Kerr is. And I think at this point, they just tolerate him. He's not very good on offense. He's honestly not very good on defense anymore. He's just around to be an agitator. And as you said, he stomped on Sabonis' chest, which the whole play was ridiculous. It was two of my favorite forces colliding. You had annoying Draymond and flopping Euro. So Sabonis is laying on the ground. He's all, oh, my chest.
Yeah, he learned a lesson. Don't lay around when don't be on the floor when Draymond Green is around.
But Sabonis is flopping around like a fish. Draymond can't seem to put his feet together. But you're right, Bill. It's the after that. It's not the on-court stuff. It's him talking, egging on the crowd, and just being a jerk, man. I don't know another way to expound this. And he is somebody who I would personally would not want on my team at all.
Yeah, I mean, when you deck one of your teammates in preseason,
then you bring on that point, and then he's punching dudes in preseason, and it's not just normal preseason. We're getting into it type of stuff. He punched the dude for really not a great reason. So, yeah, Draymond is on my team of people I would definitely not want on my squad.
I'm kind of with you on that. 803-404-6100. We are live from Fort Jackson this morning out here at the Fort Jackson Golf Club. It is the McDaniels Golf Classic, and they are getting it set up. The sun is on the way up. It's warming up. I've put on some shoes. I showed up in sandals this morning. I was really – Preston's got you should see this blanket. It is kitty cats, Jen. He's got a kitty cat blanket. It looks warm, although he has it draped over himself like a toga.
You do what you got to do, Bill.
See, Friday morning on the early game, Jen is back in a nice warm studio. Hopefully everything's working. We got 2 more hours, though, to make it break. It's the early game. 107.5 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
What's up, y'all? This Gamecocks wide receiver Juice Wells. You're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Approved credit call 866-243-4623 for details. JT means Jeeps and trucks. The biggest Jeep and truck selection in South Carolina is at JT's Jeep Ram Lexington. Get your new 2023 Jeep Wrangler now. Save $5,000 off. Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, Compass, Wagoneer. New Jeeps up to $7,500 off. New Rams up to $11,000 off. Shaky credit, don't sweat it. JT says you're approved. JT means Jeeps and trucks. 378 Lexington. JT'sJeepRam.com. Jeep celebration event.
You can pick out every detail of your remodel.
That one. Or that one.
That one. No, wait, that one. But you never really know what it will look like until...
Well...
not what I imagined. CHW Cabinetry understands. Not being able to visualize what your new space will look like can be stressful, but our photorealistic renderings leave nothing to the imagination, and our job site book makes sure everyone's on the same page. Literally, learn more at chwcabinetry.com. CHW Cabinetry. Passion from inspiration to installation.
When you think about spring, good stuff springs to mind. You know, like spring break. Woohoo! A friend springing for drinks.
Thanks, dude.
A spring in your step. Spring fever.
Oh, behave.
And best of all, spring water dough pizza from the Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers.
Yeah, baby!
Experience the taste of spring with our amazing hand-tossed pies, spring fresh salads, and over 100 beers from around the world. Enjoy spring at the Mellow Mushroom in the Vista and on Sunset in Lexington.
I'm proud to work for Volvo Cars because we're helping build a safer, more sustainable future for everyone. My name is Tamara Thompson. I'm from South Carolina, born and raised in Sumter. I'm a quality launch supervisor at the Volvo Cars plant in Ridgeville. I'm helping build the new Volvo EX90 here. At Volvo Cars, people are at the center. We feel supported, recognized, and feel like we can grow our careers. And we're hiring. Apply now at readysc.org/follow.
No manufacturing experience required. Must be 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HOT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HOT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HOT.
There's no better place to catch a game on a fall Saturday than at Williams-Brice Stadium. Visit thegamecockclub.com today to secure your tickets. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game.
what we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, celebrating the incomparable Silverado. For the first time in history, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. Find yours at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game
with Bill Gunter.
What is it? Today is, I believe, the 132nd running, if I'm looking correctly, of the Boston Marathon. And, of course, the Boston Marathon started to honor the great Paul Revere for his midnight ride.
Paul didn't run.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
I was hoping that Terry and Jen were listening to that because that's factually not true. That is, I think I tricked you, but no, the Boston Marathon was not started to honor Paul Revere for his midnight ride.
And Jen Jensen.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
.701 on a Friday morning as we get you ready here for what should be a very nice weekend. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, Preston and I out here at Fort Jackson Golf Club today. It is the McDaniels Golf Classic. Should be a lot of fun. Beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful day. Going to be nice and warm. Rain moving in tomorrow. They'll get going this morning at 9 a.m. with registration and breakfast. 10:45 registration and breakfast closes. And then we got a big old ball drop out here at 10:50, and then it'll all begin at 11 this morning. So we've got a lot going on this morning here as we get you up and going. Again, a lot going on for 107.5 The Game today. After this, in the bonus, the extra point, and the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour will all be at Firehouse Subs in Camden. The noon show, Jay and Terry will be out at Chubby's, McNulty Street in Blythewood. We can go and check out our craft beer passport there. 38 beers for $99. It's a $285 value for just $99. You can go to 1075thegame.com, click on Sweet Deals for more information. And, of course, tonight, more South Carolina baseball, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. You can hear it all on 107.5 The Game. Let me get to some of these text messages here. This is from the last hour. We've got the Firehouse Subs text line up and running now. First text that came in. Love the show, but why can't this dude get to work on time? Look, I'm not one to mess with the military, man. Let's just get it. Let's just put it out there in case you've never seen me. I'm not a tall guy to begin with. All right. We were told what time we could come on base and everything. We had a plan, and it did involve, actually, it worked to a T. It involved us doing the first segment via the phone lines. It turned out we were able to get on a little bit earlier. Preston got on. I was doing it from the car. Technically, how we planned it is what I did. You're more of a Boy Scout than I am.
A little more rogue. Like I said, it's just sort of wandering aimlessly with the MPs kind of following you. Not a great situation.
Of the two of us, you took the much larger risk. Yeah. I followed orders to a T because, again, when the military's involved, I tend to do that. John from Somerville weighs in this morning. Said I'll try to swing by. Apparently he's out here on the base. Says he'll try to swing by since y'all are here at Jackson. York weighing in this morning makes a good point, kind of a good point, because I think Florida would have just thrown somebody out there to the Wolves. Florida's bullpen already in a little bit of an issue. Their closer suspended for the weekend. But York saying the run rule kept us from further depleting the Gator bullpen. But
interesting point.
But I still think at that point they would have just left somebody out there to take pitches and to be knocked around. Maybe just sacrifice somebody there for the weekend. Gene weighing in this morning. And number one, as to what Jen was referring to earlier about kind of getting closer together and trying to stay warm. And again, Preston has got this blanket where cats are just staring back at me, 2 kittens on this is something. Gene says, when cold, you do what you got to do.
Hey, Gene, listen, I am 100% with you. It's not at desperation mode now, but listen, I have no problem.
Right, so it's going to get warmer. It's going to get warmer. He also said Embiid kicked a player no ejection and should have gotten tossed for that. And then Richard weighing in said NBA needs 3-4 guys like Draymond. That's what made old NBA great. He didn't think what he did was so bad, so the crowd got on him and he stood up for himself. No, Draymond knew what he did, right? Like Draymond Green knew exactly what he did. Draymond Green, to an extent, I can agree with Richard on you need villains in sports.
Yes, I agree.
That is what makes it great. It is like when a player is able to elicit emotion. We got into this a couple weeks ago in terms of the women's Final Four and Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And I don't know on the outside looking in if South Carolina had a player that elicited, like Aaliyah Boston was just too nice. Like it's kind of funny to say, but the South Carolina team, they were too friendly.
It was interesting. It was, like getting beat by Aaliyah Boston, and I made the equivalent. It was sort of like getting beat by Tim Duncan. It's like, all right, well, if I got to get beat by somebody, she's nice, or he's a nice guy, and you're right. While I do think Draymond is supremely annoying, I do appreciate him being around because it gives us somebody to sort of sports hate and point.
And he leans into it,
and he loves it. And he loves that idea.
He absolutely leans into it. And look, you're right. I mean, Jen, who is our overriding dislike for in NASCAR now? Who do we despise? Not who do you despise, but universally is not liked now. Is it still Kyle Busch?
I mean, I think, yeah, he's still, but I think Chastain is kind of starting to come up the ranks a little bit because he's just gotten a little bit extra aggressive. And, I think at one time when people kind of thought he was cool and when he did that, the big maneuver last year, the Hail Melon.
The wall deal where he just drove into the wall and just
rode the wall
like a video game.
Yeah, exactly. And they called that the Hail Melon, but they've now outlawed that. You can't do that again in a NASCAR race. Okay. But I think Chastain's kind of coming up there a little bit. So yeah.
Coming up, we got Chris Deering coming up here in about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and we got a lot to get to. After Chris Deering, I want to get into this. Better for sports. The good guy that we pull for or the villain we hate? And hate is the right, like, I don't, Draymond Green is a guy like, hate is a strong word, and I hate to use it.
We're not talking about Judeo-Christian hate. We're talking about sports hate, and he is 100% justified. If you said, I hate Draymond Green, I think all reasonable human beings would be like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But if we go down that path, it is an interesting question. What is better for sport? Is it the guy is it the player that we like? Steph Curry was all of a sudden became beloved because he'd bring his daughter, I believe, to the press conference, and he'd see his wife, and it was like, oh, look at this, the guy who's too small and too frail, and Steph Curry was doing. Or is it the guy that you watch to like? I want to see, like, people watch Draymond. They will stop to watch Draymond Green, not to see him play basketball, but they will stop to watch Draymond Green, hoping somebody elbows him in the mouth and removes 2 of his teeth.
Bill, this all boils down to our favorite sport. It's all about wrestling, man. We need a baby face and you need a heel. You have to have these 2 things to make us want to watch. And when sports incorporates that into it, especially when you start to get into the drama of the playoffs and you get into Joel Embiid is kicking people, Harden's nutmegging folks, and it's a lot of things going on, but that's what intrigues us. And you have to have a baby face and you have to have the heel. Wrestling had it figured out. Sports gets to it eventually.
803-404-6100. How you can weigh in this morning. They're getting the cart set up over here to my left.
A lot of movement.
The putting green. I'm going to have to go get my putter just to move around during the break and hit some putts here. But Chris Deering coming up here in just a few minutes. Again, we've been talking a good bit about the baseball game last night. South Carolina, a very dominant 13-3 victory over Florida. That game ends after 7 innings because 10-run rule. And Preston, again, you go into the locker room, you go into the showers last night. Florida probably a little deflated just because they got issues with their bullpen this weekend. Their bullpen, by the way, struggles to begin with. But last night, South Carolina just clobbers them 5 in the 6th, 5 in the 7th. There goes the ball game. And South Carolina continues to show they are a national team. I mean, this is not a fluke. This is not a team that has gotten off to a hot start. Maybe they're going to kind of peter off at the end. This is a team to be reckoned with. And now it's fair to have the conversation and to start putting some expectations out there in terms of super regionals because of what you talked about with the environment last night.
Man, that concept of this team being national, this team being one of the ones who is should be expecting to compete or the road to Omaha. I love having that conversation because we've been very gingerly easing to this point, and they've proven on every level against these other so-called great teams that they belong in any of these conversations.
803-404-6100. We will continue on with that. A couple of you weighing in. Austin saying, I hated Dale Earnhardt as a kid. Never watched him again, or never watched again after he died. But that's Austin's point, is like you watched because you didn't like him. Anonymous texter also weighing in. So many people hated Tom Brady because he won so much. And then he goes on to say, now he's gone. Is Aaron Rodgers the new heel? Who is the quarterback heel? Is it Aaron Rodgers?
It's a good question. Good question. Because Tom Brady, he was such a good-looking dude. He had a dimple in his chin. He didn't eat strawberries. It's like, man, we don't like this guy. And then somehow, at least for me personally, when I saw him stumbling off that boat at that Super Bowl party, I was like, maybe I like this guy. So, yeah, people – and you're not limited to what you can be throughout your career. You can be the babyface. You can be the heel. But that's a good point. Aaron Rodgers is very high on my list of quarterback heels right now.
803-404-6100 coming up next. We will catch up with Chris Deering. It's the Bow Tires High School Highlights of the Week. A lot to actually get into. We'll let Chris share a lot of the information on that. You're listening to The Early Game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game On Demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Oh, it is a beautiful morning out here at Fort Jackson. A lot of golf's going to be played today, but when you play a little golf, you can track some grass back into your house when you go back home. Might be on your golf shoes, might be on your golf bag, and that'll mess up the tile, the floors, the hardwoods. You have to clean. You got to do sweeping. No, you don't. You got to make a phone call. You call Zerorez with that patented ZR water technology, scientifically proven to keep your carpets, your rugs, your tile, your upholstery all cleaner for longer. Call them today. Take advantage of the spring sale. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129 when you mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game. Make the phone call today, 803-262-4020, or again, schedule online with ease, ZerorezColumbia.com. That phone number again, 803-262-4020, or again, you can go online and schedule with ease, ZerorezColumbia.com. Take advantage of the sale right now. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129. Again, no soap, no residue. It's just soft, fluffy carpets that stay cleaner longer when you use Zerorez. 803-262-4020, or again, schedule with ease online, ZerorezColumbia.com. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. Aaron Rodgers is serious about joining the Jets. He even tried to recruit defensive lineman Calais Campbell, saying, let's win a Super Bowl together. While the offers were almost equal, Campbell said he'd fit in better with Atlanta's defensive scheme. Of new coach Arthur Smith, Campbell gushed, his offenses are the hardest to figure out. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hurry and shop the final days of SpringFest at Lowe's. Right now, get an additional $300 off when you spend $1,996 or more on select major kitchen appliances. And keep your lawn looking fresh with savings on the Ego 15-inch string trimmer. It was $219, now it's $199. Shop SpringFest today because Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 4/26. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
Do you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes? Good news. There's a new way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. Call U.S. Tax Shield, A+ rated with the BBB, 800-391-5063 for your free consultation, and let U.S. Tax Shield protect you from the IRS.
Sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry and shop the final days of Springfest at Lowe's. Save on select Bonnie 19.3-ounce vegetables and herbs, 3 for $12. Because Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 4/26. Available in-store only. Actual plant size varies. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
If you have tax problems, it can affect all aspects of your life. Now's the time to do something about it. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. Everyone at our firm truly believes we can improve the lives of our clients by eliminating the stress and worry of IRS tax problems. We're a local South Carolina law firm dedicated to resolving your tax problems for good. Simply put, we solve tax problems. So if you're facing IRS tax liens, bank or wage levies, or have years of unfiled tax returns, come meet with us in person. Your first visit is free and confidential. We'll show you how we will solve your problem and how much it'll cost. So don't put it off any longer. Call us now at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to our website at irsproblemsolving.com. It is time to do something about that tax problem. Your solution is right here in South Carolina, so hire a South Carolina attorney. Hire me, John Ecton.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Plus text section title with approved credit call 888-320-6359 for details. JT's Kia just received nearly 200 new Kias fresh off the truck, and we're trying to move them quick. So while they last, you can get a spanking new Kia from $18,990. Drive the perfect SUV crossover, the Kia Sorento, for just $239 a month. And your credit problem is no longer a problem when you see JT. Don't miss these deals. Rush to JT's Kia, Killian Commons Parkway, jtskia.com.
Wrestling fans, feel the podcast heat.
Woo! Join Hall of Fame wrestlers every week sharing their stories from the past and insights on what's happening now.
Strictly Business with Eric Bischoff.
Look at some of the early WrestleManias and the effort that went into them and the kind of crowds they attracted. You know, Pontiac Silverdome, for example.
Foley is Pod with Mick Foley.
There is no loss too steep if it makes for good TV.
Yes. Just search Podcast Heat wherever you listen.
Get the right care at the right place. Visit Lexington Medical Center's convenient urgent care centers for minor illnesses and injuries, and use our emergency room for emergencies. Go to lexmed.com/care now to know where to go for the care you need now.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
A couple of incidences out there that I need to let you know about. I-26 eastbound just after exit 85, the right lane is currently blocked. And Highway 601 at Leesburg Road, there is an accident with injuries. So approach that area with caution, if you would. And take a look at your forecast for the weekend. It is looking like it's going to be not too bad today, that's for sure. Going to enjoy for the high. 79 tomorrow with some isolated storms, then mostly sunny again on Sunday and a high of 77. Right now, it's pretty nice, even though the guys are outside and they're a little chilly and a little whiny, but that's okay. 58 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence, knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
The sun has risen out here, and it actually, although Preston still got his blanket with cats on it.
Kitties.
I got to get a picture. I'll have to do that here momentarily. But we are warmer. We are warmer now, Jen. It is at least a nice day out here as we get ready for the tournament. I do want to read you this hot take before we get to Chris Deering real quick. This comes in from anonymous texter. He says, Aaron Rodgers hot take. Aaron Rodgers is the man moonlighting towards retirement in the office that picks up strange hobbies because he feels he can't be any better at his job. I like that. That's very good. Thank you for that text. Thank you. Thank you for sending that in. 803-404-6100. We may have to play a game of that at some point. Who is that person? Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Chris Deering wanting to weigh in on all kinds of topics this morning. Chris Deering, is Aaron Rodgers the man moonlighting towards retirement in his office and starting to pick up strange hobbies because he feels he can't be any better at his job?
I believe I have to go with that. That's a pretty good assessment. Yeah. I hadn't thought about it in those terms exactly, but I do believe that might be what we're looking at here.
There you go. There you go. Well, let's talk a little high school sports with you. The countdown is on here for really the final push of the academic season, the 2022-2023 high school season. And before you know it, we'll have you right back here in August talking high school football. And we had a little bit of coaching news. Airport making a new hire this week.
Yeah, that wraps up all the coaching hires here in the Midlands for football this year. Shane Fiddler, coach from Ashley Ridge, has taken the Airport job. He was named I think it was Monday night. He was named the new coach at Airport. I actually got to meet him on Sunday down at the Palmetto Series Combine at West Florence High School. Very engaging, younger guy. He's in his 30s. Was really hoping to get the job. Looking forward to moving his family to Columbia. This will be his third head coaching stop. He was at Waccamaw before Ashley Ridge, and he's taken both of those programs that were 2 or 3 win teams before he got there, and they won 7 games. I think each of us. He stayed 3 years at both of those stops. I think his last year at both places they won 7 games. So from everybody I've talked to and talking to him, he seems one of the bright young stars here in the coaching ranks, and I know he's excited about what he can accomplish at Airport. You know, we talked. He wanted to grill me a little bit on the history of Airport High School, and you know, they've been down a couple of years now, but they were 10-11 win seasons not long ago under Kirk Burnett, and they got a rich history at Airport, and I think he can get in there and get the excitement back and get them back playing to the level that we used to see 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Real quick, all the coaching hires that we saw across the Midlands this week, kind of give me your overall take. I'm thinking, I'm sure I'm forgetting plenty of them. I know Dustin Curtis at Lexington, because obviously I'm out there. We've had to have Airport. We've had to have a few others. What's your overall take on high school football here in the Midlands now after kind of a round of coaching changes?
Well, you look at the coaches that they did hire, and I'll even throw Dustin Curtis in this mix. It's a bunch of younger guys. Some's been head coaches before. Some are getting their first head coaching opportunities. But you look across the board, most of these guys are 40 or younger. And I think that says a lot about where the coaching profession is right now. You look at a Tom Knotts who's been doing it forever now, and he's got to be the one you pair everybody to here in the Midlands, and he's got a bunch of young up and comers trying to reach that point, and I don't know. And Preston, I'd like to get your take on this. I don't know if we see someone like a John McKissick anymore that gets in one spot and stays for 40 years. I just think that probably has passed us by. But I do think, this round of coaches that's hired here in the Midlands, I think, I've said it for a number of years. I think football's gotten a lot better in the Midlands. I think it's got a lot to do with the coaches. I think it's got a lot to do with the facilities and getting kids excited about playing. And I think this last round of coaching hires has done nothing but help that, and we'll continue to see good football here in the Midlands.
Yeah, those two significant points you made, Chris. And one, I do think Midlands football has improved because, as you know, there was definitely a reputation for the Midlands not being the best place for football in the state. Either you had to go to the upstate or the low country to see some real ball getting played. And I think that has definitely increased over recent times. And you're right with the coaches. As far as coaches staying in one place, I just think it just reflects the larger job market. People just don't stay any particular place for one time. You know, when I was growing up, obviously growing up down in Somerville, obviously McKissick was a stalwart, but then you had Ray Stackley at Stratford, Jerry Brown at Berkeley, and you can sort of just name the coaches and the traditions of what those coaches are going to bring. It's not like that as much anymore, but I do think that if a coach gets to a place and is able to stay there for a while, that seems to be a place where they can win often.
I'll ask both of you this: is that's not just in high school now, right? That's college as well. Like it's longevity as a coach is becoming a. How long, Chris? How long was Bob Hanna? That's who I remember at Irmo. How long was Bob Hanna at Irmo? Do you, off the top of your head, do you know?
Off the top of my head, I do not know, but I would venture to say 20 years. I mean,
yeah,
easily. He was there quite a long time. I mean, yeah, I think it's not just high school, it's college, pros, it's the sign of the times. And you know, we live in a microwave society now, and if you don't win in 2 or 3 years, they want you gone. I mean, they want to try again and try to get it right. And you know, sometimes that's not always the best. You know, I know Preston named Jerry Brown at Berkeley. I was a little bit before that time. I played for Gerald Moody, and he had some lean years in the beginning, but he stuck around Berkeley he had 2 different stints as the head coach at Berkeley, but you know, he stuck around 15, 16 years the second time, and the years were lean and the wins were lean in the beginning, but you know, we got it going and we're winning pretty regular there towards the end. So I just don't know if coaches will be given that opportunity to build something. And, you know, I know high school is different, and I might get crucified for saying this, but you pretty much got to play with the kids that live in your area and come up through your ranks. But you got to win with the kids you got. You got to get a chance to build your program. And I think that starts with getting them at a younger age and getting them, you know, acclimated to what you expect in your program. And I just think that's what you got to give a coach an opportunity to do. You know, he can't probably come in and win. Like, because I did play at Berkeley, I take Berkeley for example. They won 2 games last year. I don't think anybody's expecting Eric Lige to come in and win 9 football games this year. It's just not going to happen. You got to get the kids excited about being back out there and, you know, building your program from the younger kids up.
I tell you what, Chris, if you don't mind, do you have time to hold over for another segment instead of trying to jam everything in here? Do you got a few more minutes if we hit a break and hold you over?
Oh, absolutely.
Let's do that, because there's a couple things I want to get to, and one of them is the SCHSL approving American Leadership Academy in Red Bank, because that kind of goes back to what you're saying. There's also a few other things that are going on. You've got some updated rankings for the 2024 football class you want to talk about. Let's do that. Let's hit a break, come back, give Chris a little bit more time on the other side. You're listening to The Early Game on 107.5 The Game.
Got a take?
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
We're outside at the golf course at Fort Jackson, and the sun is shining. The dudes on the grass. We're sitting outside, and it would only be better if we had integrated media out here with some Samsung Terrace TVs that would be waterproof. We could have some outdoor speakers. We could have music going, Wi-Fi that would work indoors and outdoors. It's time. It's time to get your outdoors ready for spring and the summer, because it's actually here. So if you want to control all your devices from just one remote, you want to set up home theaters, adjust your thermostat, or monitor your security systems for your cell phone, give Integrated Media a call. So call Nathan and Michael at 803-948-8327. That's 803-948-8327. Or you can check them out online at integratedmediainc.com. That's online at integratedmediainc.com.
Plus, text and title with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for details. Buy a Ram and buy it at JT's Dodge Land on Greystone. We have truckfuls and truckfuls of Rams. South Carolina's truck giant stays stocked. Up to $11,000 off on a new 2022 Bighorn Ram. Or take one for just $359 a month. Save $5,000 on new Durangos, Chargers, and Challengers. Credit concerns? Not with JT. The truck giant says yes, you can. It's Ram Truck Month at JT's Dodge Land on Greystone. JT'sDodge.com.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Mount Valley Foundation Services. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at fixmyfoundation.com.
STD Awareness Month is observed annually during the month of April. Get yourself tested. This is an opportunity to raise awareness and reduce STD-related stigmas. To learn more about STDs and to find a testing center near you, visit scdhec.gov/STD info or call the HIV STD hotline at 1-800-322-AIDS. 1-800-322-2437. Remember, get yourself tested.
I'm proud to work for Volvo Cars because we're helping build a safer, more sustainable future for everyone. My name is Tamara Thompson. I'm from South Carolina, born and raised in Sumter. I'm a quality launch supervisor at the Volvo Cars plant in Ridgeville. I'm helping build the new Volvo EX90 here. At Volvo Cars, people are at the center. We feel supported, recognized, and feel like we can grow our careers. And we're hiring. Apply now at readysc.org/Volvo.
No manufacturing experience required. Must be 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Family is comfort. It's care. It's a safe place. It seems when you need help, you can always count on family. At Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical, they are a family you can depend on and have been for 53 years. Heating and air is their passion. Customer service is their pleasure. And when Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical are in your home, your family is theirs. For an appointment, call 803-754-9409 or visit their website at broomheating.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join our growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Coming into Columbia on I-26 eastbound, 2 accidents at the 85-mile marker have both lanes blocked. After you get past exit 85, then the right lane only is blocked. So big tie up there if you were heading from the Newberry area, Little Mountain and all of that. So again, 2 wrecks at the 85-mile marker, both lanes blocked, but once you get past it, then it's the right lane. So try to get an alternate route if at all possible, because that is kind of a mess right now. I-26 westbound before exit 97. The right lane is blocked just due to a disabled vehicle. And Highway 601 at Leesburg, an accident there as well. 86 will be our high today, and then we might see some rain and storms coming in tomorrow. 79 for the high. Then we drop to 77 with sun on Sunday. But it's warming up right now, 59 at 107.5 The Game.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
$7:35 on your Friday morning. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Chris Deering still joining us here as the Bow Tires High School highlights of the week here. A lot to get to, and Chris, I appreciate you hanging around for an extra segment because I didn't want to rush you on this kind of stuff. Real quick, let's address the one other thing that kind of occurred this past week. Upper and lower state plus the state championship basketball is likely going to be held at one central site. Give us a little breakdown of what this means or how you see this kind of working out moving forward.
Yeah, that's obviously way different than it's been done in South Carolina in the past. You got upper state in one site, lower state in another site, and typically the state championship games in a third site. But right now they got approved this week. They're going to an 8-day event in one single site. That's still being looked at where it's going to be, but I do think Florence Civic Center has the lead on this, and they will have all lower and upper state championships in the same site over the course of 8 days in March or late February, early March. And for selfish reasons, I'd like to see that here in Columbia, but I also understand the Colonial Life Arena could not give up 8 days in that time period with South Carolina basketball being played. And I am interested to see how all the logistics of this work out. The Florence Civic Center, and I'm just going to go on record here, to me, it's not the best basketball venue in the state. I've talked to several coaches about it. The sight lines for shooting are not the best. The stands are a long way from the court, but it seats 9,000 people, and I think that's about the size of an arena they're looking for to hold these state championships. I do think USC Aiken was a little bit small at 4,000. So I understand it. I know a lot of states do the same type of event in one central location. So I'm gonna be curious to see how it plays out. When it starts, it'll run a Friday through the following Saturday, with Sunday being an off day. And for other lower states, you'll have 1A on one day, 2A on another, 3A, 4A, 5A. They all will get their day by themselves. There'll be 4 games each day, and that's going to go into the school day. I mean, let's just be honest. If you play 4 basketball games in one day, you can't play them, start them at 6 o'clock at night. You got to start them during the day. And then they still determining about the state championship, but that's going to be a 3-day or a 2-day event. So it'll be interesting to see how all this plays out. The good thing is the Florence Civic Center is easy access on and off the interstate. But it is, for us here in the Midlands, it's an hour away. But I'll feel certain and come next year in February, March, I'm going to be going up and down I-20 pretty regular for that little trip. So looking forward to it. I think that's how it's going to pan out. We still got a couple of things to work out, and we'll see where it lands in the next couple of weeks. And football is on the docket as well about where to hold the football championships. They've been at Benedict the last couple of years. I do know South Carolina's trying to get back in the mix there. Orangeburg, South Carolina State's trying to get into the mix. So I think we will see a decision on both of those, or on football here in the next couple of weeks as well, on where they will hold their state championships next year.
Chris Deering joining us as he does every Friday, the Bow Tires High School highlights of the week. This little note that you sent me, I find interesting, and maybe you can go a little bit more into it. We've discussed Gray Collegiate and kind of what they are and what they're about and everything last few weeks, and we've discussed teams not being willing to play them. So when I see stuff like this, it kind of perks my interest. American Leadership Academy. It's a charter school in Red Bank, which is right at number 6 in Lexington, and I've driven by it a couple times. And because I'm in Lexington, my son plays athletics, plays sports. I've learned a lot about this. They were approved to join the South Carolina High School League. The Atlantic Collegiate Academy was denied admission to the South Carolina High School League. Can you expound on that a little bit and what we've got going here with one being approved and one not?
Bill, that may be the most confusing thing I've dealt with this week. I don't really understand it. I don't know how in the same meeting you can approve one new charter school but not approve the other one into admission into the South Carolina High School League. The one out of Horry County and Conway, I know they could go through before the appellate committee, and I feel certain that they're going to get approved at that point. I mean, if you read the bylaws and look at state law, there's no reason to deny these schools. I mean, they are what they are. I will tell you, I talked to their coach last night. I'm not going to name him. I know he's listening this morning.
Thank you, Coach, out there for listening. We appreciate you.
Yeah, he listens every Friday. He says.
Oh, okay, just every Friday.
You know, one of his drawbacks with the charter schools is, you know, his kids come to school at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and they don't get home till 7, 8 o'clock at night with the schedule. And the charter schools get out at noon, and he said that's the disadvantage he sees the traditional public schools having is, you know, they can get there, they can be done with practice, weightlifting, film, everything by 3 o'clock in the afternoon and get their kids home. And, you know, you play football for 4 months, and come November, that's a long day. You've been doing it for 4 months and hitting on each other and you know, practicing. So that was something I never really thought about. So I was talking to that coach last night. He was at the Carolina baseball game. So, but as far as what the high school league rule this week, I don't understand it. I don't understand, again, how in the same 2-hour time frame, 2 different charter schools can make a plea to join your league, and you approve one and deny the other. You know, some people said it was some people on that committee trying to send a message. They didn't even listen to some of the things being presented. And I'll tell you, my buddy Ian Guerin, he works for My Horry News. I tweeted it out last night. He wrote a column about what's going on, and I thought he nailed it. If you want to go to My Horry News and check it out, or you can go to my Twitter feed. And like I said, I tweeted it out last night. I'll probably do it again this morning. He hit it on the head. You know, there's no reason to deny these schools. Now, I've said it before, and I'm not going to change my stance on this. I do think they need to create their own division, own league, and play against each other. But as far as admitting them to the high school league, I don't see any reason to keep them out. So we'll see where this goes. Like I say, I'm sure that the one in Conway will go in front of the appellate committee here in the next week or so. And again, if they follow the bylaws and they follow state law, there's no reason to keep them out. So we'll see what happens there.
Before we let you go, I know something you're kind of excited about. Prep Red Zone Network has released their updated 2024 football rankings. You guys have had a chance to get out and watch a little bit and talk to people. Give us a little bit of a preview on what you got going there with Prep Red Zone Network.
Yeah, like I said, this month we've been at all 4 combines that the Coaches Association has put on, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Neil Smith from White Knoll. He did a great job running these things over the course of 4 different sites in the state of South Carolina. But we have people at every event. I went to the one, like I say, last Sunday at West Florence. I went to the underclassmen combine. And so it gave us a chance to get eyes on a bunch of kids. So this week, Tuesday, I think it was, we released our updated 2024 rankings. We got right at 200 kids ranked in the state of South Carolina. So you know, get your top, you know, number 1, 2, 3 kids that everybody knows about, but you also get some kids that not everybody knows about, and you know that's going to play football on the college level, just not on, you know, on the FBS level. So I think we did a good job. I looked at the site yesterday. I was going through it. We got multiple stories going up every single day. Like I say, these rankings, South Carolina fans might want to check them out. 4 of the top 5 players in South Carolina commitments. And we're football 365 days a year. We don't read about any other sport. I think it's for your money, I think it's the best thing going out there if you're a huge football fan. If you go to the site right now, you get 40% off if you sign up. I just think, again, we got a bunch of great guys across the state. We still got 6 guys strong. A lot of us are veterans. We're not just out of college trying to do this. We've been around for a long time. We talk to a lot of coaches, just on our evaluation. You know, we talk to a lot of coaches, hear a lot of feedback. So I think, again, if you're a football fan, high school football fan in the state of South Carolina, Prep Red Zone is a place you need to check out and give us a shot. You know, if you just want to do it for 30 days and see if you like it or not. But we got content going up every day. We'll be breaking down these 2024 rankings over the next week and a half. After that, we'll have the 2025 rankings, then 2026 rankings. I mean, we don't stop. This could go all the way into the summer, and then we'll start previewing teams come the summertime. So we're rolling right along. A lot of steam behind us right now, and I'm excited where this thing's headed.
Chris, we appreciate you always taking time. A lot of information this morning. Next week, we'll get more into the playoffs. I know the lacrosse is underway. Baseball's got a week to go. Soccer is about to get started. So a lot of playoffs to get to with you next week when we come back. But appreciate a lot of that insight on the high school, on the championship weekend for basketball, for the charter schools and them being accepted and denied, and just the overall high school football. Before you know it, Preston, it'll be high school football season. And I've always said it, and Chris agrees with me, there is something that is pure about the game of football at the high school level. And Chris and Preston, before you know it, we're going to be discussing week 0, which Chris loves week 0.
Can't wait.
Yeah, week 0 in fall camp when it's 98 degrees every single day. I just don't understand those 2 terms, but you know, we'll talk about that at a later time.
We'll have dueling rants on how Chris feels about the week 0 label and how you feel about the OR title for depth charts. Chris, always appreciate it. Look forward to catching up with you next Friday.
All right, guys, have a great weekend.
All right, man.
Take care. Chris Deering joining us again, the Bow Tires High School highlights of the week. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour 2 here on the early game. It's 107.5 The Game.
Any of the early game?
You can catch up by going to the early game on demand page at 1075thegame.com.
Or by downloading our 1075 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
Sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry and shop the final days of Spring Fest at Lowe's and get the best values of the season before they're gone. Save big on the Eagle 15-inch string trimmer. It was $219, now it's $199. Shop Lowe's today. Valid through 4/26. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Life matters. The other day I told you about my success with an online map service used to find an unfamiliar address. When I began the trip, I was skeptical. I'd used some other map services only to end up at a dead end or looking for a road that didn't exist. My friend assured me that this new service was reliable. He had used it for years with no problem, and it had made his travel simple and enjoyable. Along with my friend, I also developed a trust in that company. May I give you my endorsement of my favorite map service? I've used it for years, and it's never led me astray. It has provided security, confidence, and even an enjoyment of the journey. I'm talking about the Bible. King David said that God's word was a lamp that illuminated his path even in dark places. I agree. Follow the light of Scripture and you'll never end up facing a dead end. This is Stephen Chitty. Visit us on the web at ChristianLifeColumbia.com. Remember, life matters and so do you. Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
Plus, text second title with approved credit call 888-320-6359 for details. JT's Kia just received nearly 200 new Kias, fresh off the truck, and we're trying to move them quick. So while they last, you can get a spanking new Kia from $18,990. Drive the perfect SUV crossover, the Kia Sorento, for just $239 a month. And your credit problem is no longer a problem when you see JT. Don't miss these deals. Rush to JT's Kia, Killian Commons Parkway, jtskia.com.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information. Bassmaster is coming to Lake Murray. Come watch the Elite Series pros and check out the Outdoors Expo, including food trucks, booths, and interactive exhibits. Plus, enjoy live music on Saturday from Christian Bush of Sugarland. It'll be fun for the whole family. Save your money on the state park parking fee and take the free shuttle. Be at the Marathon Bassmaster Elite at Lake Murray, April 20th through the 23rd at Dreer Island State Park, and catch the fun. Details at bassmaster.com.
It's time to get a hop on your spring cleaning checklist with the help of Zerust Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Right now, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Book online at ZerustColumbia.com.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Fan City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet, quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon. Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City, 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
Join the McDaniels Automotive Group and the Lexington Medical Center Foundation on Saturday, April 22nd at the Pastides Alumni Center for the McDaniels Golf Classic Gala, featuring live and silent auctions, Southern Way catering, and live music by the Crystal Clear Band. Proceeds support programs and services at Lexington Medical Cancer Center, from diagnosis to survivorship. Purchase your tickets today at McDanielsGolfClassic.com. Sponsored by TrainInfo.com. Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TrainInfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. TrainInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
And taking a look at the traffic conditions out there this morning, we have 2 accidents, I-26 eastbound, around exit 85. Both lanes are blocked there at mile marker 85. After that, the right lane is currently blocked. So mapping out an alternate route would be probably a really good idea right now. You're going to be heading towards that area, I-26 eastbound, exit 85. Also have an accident with injuries. Highway 601 at Leesburg Road. 86 for the high today, maybe some isolated storms tomorrow, and a high of 79. Warming up, though, it is 60 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
7:54 on your Friday morning. Big thank you to Chris Deering for joining us this morning to, again, talk a lot about that. Anonymous texter weighs in. We'll discuss this more in the coming weeks. Preston and I were kind of talking off air about just the coming weeks and what we're going to be discussing as we move away from spring football, obviously, and more NBA and NHL playoffs. South Carolina baseball, obviously, will be a hot topic. But Anonymous texter weighs in, says, charter schools are the future of South Carolina athletics. Too many student athletes born into high poverty areas with poor leadership at their public schools. These schools give those kids a chance to get in front of positive, qualified role models. We all know the public schools utility. I'm trying to read some of this. Utility knife coaches who coach golf, wrestling, track, and a mix of others. Preston, you've been in the school system. I don't think you can say that for every school across the board. I don't know if it's a lump thing or how you feel about that with these charter schools. It is different than when you and I were coming up.
Yeah, that's a very much loaded statement and a loaded question. In 100% transparency, I'm for public schools, and I am for public schools in your attendance zone. And I think it's a very much a broad brush statement to say that students in even high poverty areas come from schools that are lacking leadership, that do not have quality either leadership and or teachers that are there. There's obviously other extenuating factors that might lead to maybe why some of those schools are necessarily underperforming. So I do think that's a very, very broad brush statement. I would be one, if I had to have I would want to improve those schools as opposed to extracting these kids from the schools that they intend. So there's a lot of conversation to be had for that.
It's so different across the board, academically, athletically, than when 23 years ago, when you and I were graduating high school. There was no, I think I say recruited, and I use that term very lightly, but to go to King's Academy, which was a small school up in Saluda, and be a part of that program, play basketball. And I wanted to play with my friends at Lexington High School, the people I'd grown up with. The movement in kids leaving schools and going to different schools, to an extent, the recruiting of high school kids by other high school, it's crazy what we see now today.
Well, and then you wonder why we have so much movement in the transfer portal and at different levels. It's not the amateurization, the professionalization of sports doesn't start when they get to college. It starts in high school. So this is a conversation that needs to be had, and it starts a lot younger. And I would love to get into this conversation more.
Yeah, you're very qualified to handle that, and I'm very qualified to sit here and listen to you handle it. We will talk more about it. It's an interesting concept, certainly. Maybe even get Chris Deering in studio to give you somebody who really knows about it and talk about it one day. Next hour, I like this conversation. Who's our biggest villains? Who's our biggest heels? Who's our most lovable sports athletes right now? Well, LeBron James was made fun of by Dylan Brooks the other night. We'll
heels
discuss
and villains.
Hour 3 on the way.
This is USC linebacker Mo Kaba, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Let's text title with approved credit call 866-243-4623 for details. JT means Jeeps and trucks. The biggest Jeep and truck selection in South Carolina is at JT's Jeep Ram Lexington. Get your new 2023 Jeep Wrangler now. Save $5,000 off. Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, Compass, Wagoneer. New Jeeps up to $7,500 off. New Rams up to $11,000 off. Shaky credit, don't sweat it. JT says you're approved. JT means Jeeps and trucks. 378 Lexington. JT'sJeepRam.com. Jeep Celebration.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Oliver Gospel Mission needs your help on May 2nd. Donate to Oliver Gospel through the annual Midlands Gives campaign, and Jim Hudson Automotive will double your gift up to $50,000. We are transforming lives together through the power of Christ's love. Donate at olivergospel.org. olivergospel.org.
The power of Christ love. The power of Christ love.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Van City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet, quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon, Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City, 781-FANS. You'll be glad
Plus,
you
takes
did.
taken title with approved credit call 888-411-7640 for details. Buy a Ram and buy it at JT's Dodge Land on Greystone. We have truckfuls and truckfuls of Rams. South Carolina's truck giant stays stocked. Up to $11,000 off on a new 2022 Bighorn Ram. Or take one for just $359 a month. Save $5,000 on new Durangos, Chargers, and Challengers. Credit concerns? Not with JT. The truck giant says yes, you can. It's Ram Truck Month at JT's Dodge Land on Greystone. JT'sDodge.com.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by the Power of Love Chevrolet, celebrating the Chevy Silverado for the first time in history, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. Come by and feel the power of love. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
Here's the problem with that 9-minute average. Once you run in 9 minutes, you're no longer trotting. You're running.
Yes.
Also a problem. So this is the cocky trot. I'm gonna need you to slow down a little.
With Bill Gunter.
I'm an
Correct. It is
expert.
the
I'm an
trot,
expert
yes.
in trotting, and that is not trotting. That is running, full on, very close to sprinting.
And Jen Jensen.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Eight 803-404-6100 if you want to text in this morning. Got a lot going on here as we wrap up the week. We're out here at the Fort Jackson Golf Club for the McDaniels Golf Classic being played today. Be a day off for me. Not going to be a part of this tournament today. We'll be back involved. I'm getting to the point, Preston, with these weekly golf tournaments. I feel like I have to pick and choose. I'm like Tiger Woods. I'm like the Tiger Woods of the maybe not the Tiger Woods. I'm trying to think of another name to use for myself, but I played yesterday in the Chiropractic Association tournament out at Cobblestone. Great tournament. Saw Spencer Rattler out there, Stone Blanton, Tanner Bailey. Governor McMaster stopped by. Shane Beamer was out there a little bit yesterday. Big tournament out of Cobblestone yesterday.
That is a good gig because the chiropractic organization sponsors a golf tournament for old people so that they need to go to chiropractors. That's a good grift right there. I like it.
Joel Sanders helping me yesterday, putting me on the team. We had a great time out there. Absolutely phenomenal yesterday. And but speaking of the chiropractic, back's a little sore today.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly how it's supposed to work. It's working right on schedule.
It got me. So, but I appreciate Joel yesterday putting us out there. We had a big time and had a blast. And so we little off today. We're getting to that age where you got to be a little bit more in shape to play multiple rounds in a week. So we'll get the McDaniels Golf Classic, a fantastic event out here as they're getting it ready. Tee time later today. 803-404-6100. Again, how you can weigh in. So it is a good question that was brought up in the previous hour about Tom Brady. And now, and I don't know if Tom Brady was the villain. Tom Brady was the good-looking villain that maybe we all wanted to not like, but we couldn't pull the trigger on completely not liking him. But the Deflategate, some of the things, the avocado ice cream, some of the things that he just did, I think it made him easy to not like. but at the same time, it was almost you had to have so much respect for him because of how much of a champion he was. You're like, I guess I can't.
Yeah, he just sort of beat you into submission, or it's like, all right, man, whatever. You're just gonna keep winning, and I'm gonna try and hate on you. And then I know for me, it was after the 28-3 with the Falcons,
Yep.
and I was like, all right, man, fine, I'll be a fan, But yeah, he has some unlikable type of qualities, but never really said anything. It wasn't like he was inflammatory. Like you said, it was probably more so hate and jealousy than anything else.
So who is the biggest villain? NBA, I think, is kind of easy with Draymond Green, who seems to. NFL, I feel like it was Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Like, and fair or unfair, I do that. That's a whole other discussion for a whole other day about how I think Antonio Brown came to become. And I think it was Vontaze Burfict, if I'm thinking correctly, that laid the hit on him. And he was never the same, literally never the same after that. I mean, you can go back and follow that timeline of Antonio Brown. And
it's pretty clear, distinct line.
I'm not saying that was that triggered, that might have triggered something. I'm not saying that was the only thing. But if you follow the Antonio Brown timeline, after he got, I'm pretty sure it was Burfict. Is that?
Well, speaking of villains, Burfict was the on-field villain for sure.
Yeah, and but after that, Antonio Brown kind of that was kind of something else. But to say all that, like, does the NFL? I'm going somewhere with this. Does the NFL have a true villain right now?
It's interesting. I'm trying to think of somebody who's. It has to be, and this is the key point about thinking about these villains, right? We're not talking about who has been in criminal charges. We're talking about on-field villains, somebody who just kind of irks your nerves when they play, or they may play a little bit dirty.
Draymond Green doesn't, to my knowge, has nothing off the field. Like
he's fine.
He's annoying.
Upstanding citizens. He's just annoying, and that's perfectly. He's perfectly well within his right on the field to do that. I'm trying to think of somebody in the NFL. I know my personal villain was Russell Wilson. That's just because he was ultimately too corny.
Okay,
and he just irked my nerves about how perfect he tried to present himself. Meanwhile, it seemed like he was somebody who would stab you in the back while smiling in your face kind of guy. So he was a sort of a villain like figure for me personally. Aaron Rodgers is creeping up there as being somebody that none of us can relate to. I think that's another part of being a villain. It's like, okay, so what that you're the best quarterback in the world? We don't. What planet?
You know
what?
From, should we know? Maybe not villain, but most annoying.
Oh, Bill, this is
annoying.
My specialty.
Annoying
my
might be the better word for this.
Well, Russell Wilson's very high up on the annoying scale. Aaron is creeping. I'm gonna tell you somebody he's regained his status with me. JJ Watt was very high up on the annoying.
Really?
Yeah, JJ Watt. He was, he kind of presented himself as Captain America kind of guy, and that was a little bit like, all right, man, we get it, you're perfect. We know everything. You work, you say your prayers, and you take your vitamins. I get it. He was very high up on that scale, but obviously he was a tremendous player, excellent player. Would have wanted him to have him on any team that I want. So annoying is something that I specialize in.
I don't know if he's still in, but I agree with Matt. Ndamukong Suh.
Oh,
a very good one.
He's mellowed out very much in his. Also, he's not as good as he was.
He's aged. He's getting shoved around a little bit.
Has he mellowed out or has he aged? That's a good question.
There's a big difference.
And Ndamukong Suh was a absolute villain. He was, he would happen to step on people on occasion.
I think wasn't he the one that blindsided the Green Bay Packer offensive lineman after an interception?
Well, that was fair.
Oh, okay. So all's fair when that is. I keep saying that's another discussion for another time, but let's circle back to that one later about what is allowable by defensive linemen when an interception is thrown.
Please be aware that anytime you're listening to me, it's coming from a very biased perspective. So just understand that.
Richard goes with Jalen Ramsey. You gonna?
Oh yeah, Jalen Ramsey talks a lot of trash and he gets toasted a lot. He gets cooked very often. His amount of trash talk is not proportionate to how good I think he is. So that Jalen Ramsey's another. These are great ones. Keep them coming.
What about one who may be developing, Lamar Jackson?
I don't get it from him because he doesn't say enough really to be a villain. I guess if we're trying to say like, man, take the contract. Why are you holding out? I'm not there on Lamar yet.
AJ weighs in with just the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell.
ultimate villain.
You say this, we're able to name a bunch of people. And I think you could honestly do this in basketball as well. You could go. There's a lot of people who would say James Harden is annoying, is a villain.
I didn't like the way he got on my nerves the way he played.
Kyrie Irving is a guy that people will
Very much
instantly
so.
go to. I mean, there's a bunch out there. This is the problem with baseball. There is no personality. There is very little personality. The center fielder for the Marlins, Jazz Chisholm. Thank you. Incredible player. I don't think anybody's aware. Very few. You have to be a true. I think you either got to buy the video game that's out to find out that he's on the front cover, or you've got to really be a baseball fan to know about him. Fernando Tatis Jr. came back last night.
0 for 5.
For Tatis, again, he's been suspended, and there's a whole bunch there. I don't know if necessarily he's a villain, but he's a great baseball player.
Sure.
Great baseball player. That Padres team, by the way, I know the Braves smoked them one game earlier this week, but that Padres team is loaded with guys that you might look at them and be like that guy, don't like this guy. Like that guy, Juan Soto. Nope, you're out. Like Juan Soto's incredible. That Padres team is absolutely fun. That is must-see TV. But Tatis Jr. was the face of that organization, and then he gets suspended for PEDs, whatever. Now all of a sudden it's kind of like, all right, he's becoming more of one, but we don't know about it.
Right.
Just like we don't know about Jazz Chisholm.
Right.
We barely know about. I know Mike Trout's an Eagles fan. That's
so
what I know about him.
More so than anything else. More so than what you know about anything else. And if Mike Trout is just going to be, Mr. Vanilla Man, and we don't know him, they can play that up. There's something to that. Yeah, we can go through each one of these sports and name all of these different folks that are the reasons why we're sort of watching them, the things that intrigue us beyond just the actual game. And it's very difficult to do that with sports,
Well, with baseball, with Aaron, what do you know about Aaron Judge?
He's a Goliath. He's 6'8", and even through they tried to make the home run chase into something last year, which I would have been fun to be on the radio for that last year. But yeah, even through that, we still don't know who he is or what he is about or what does he do. Or
that's what made yesterday a lot of fun talking baseball. Was we had, I think, a villain in Max Scherzer.
Yes.
He's figuring out how to mix sweat and rosin together.
Which, by the way, he's not going to appeal his suspension, so you could take that for whatever it's worth.
So I think because he feels like he has a legitimate excuse, and he's like, 10-day vacation? Sure, I'll take it. I'll take it, whatever. It's cool. It's cool. 803-404-6100, how you can weigh in. See, I mean, Alan goes with not the word he used, but LeBron James.
Could be on both sides. I personally, am not a LeBron James fan. Remember when he tried to do that strange thing with Miami Heat where he tried to be the bad guy, but he just didn't have it in his heart to be unlikable?
Yeah.
He just had to turn back to, all right, please like me.
Yeah. I like this one from Anonymous Texter. Gardner Minshew says, I think it's just the headband for me. Can't stand him.
Gardner Minshew sort of plays up like I'm just the round the way guy of kind of like
he's like he's like the hippie. He's like the hippie. Like I got the cutoff jeans and I've got the Winnebago.
I live in a Winnebago.
And it would say 803-404-6100. You can weigh in on this. Yep, Patrick Reed is an incredible villain.
I need to learn more about Patrick Reed because I hear his name come up often.
He's an incredible one. 803-404-6100. Jim goes with Cam Newton. Beyond annoying.
Yeah, just that smile. Like somebody that smiles that much while they're running down, while they're beating you and running you over, that gets annoying. and if you've ever seen the social media, he writes in wingdings, which is just incredibly immature. So yeah, I feel you on Cam. And the way he dresses. There's a lot of not to like about Cam.
803-404-6100. We'll come back. South Carolina baseball last night, 13-3 winner over Florida. We'll get back into that. Continue with your villains. I like some of the ones that I wouldn't expect. Another anonymous texter went with Eli Apple as
he gets cooked, and that's so funny. Yeah, that's a good one.
Richard goes Carson Wentz. I'm mad at how much money he's made, and he stinks.
Now y'all are getting the show. Y'all are getting it.
Yeah, you're doing good. Let's keep sending them in. Random players that just upset you. They
just grind your gears just a little bit.
Not even superstars, just random people who have just somehow upset you in life.
Just get your goat. just a little bit.
803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
At 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. The Eagles yesterday hired Matt Patricia as a senior defensive assistant. Patricia, a defensive specialist and former Lions head coach, was woefully miscast last season as the Patriots' offensive play caller. He took the fall for New England's offensive failures and for Mac Jones's regression. Patricia does provide Nick Sirianni with an extra ear, one that is adept at holding pencils, obviously. I'm Boomer Esiason.
This your captain. Better buckle your seatbelts for this one. I saw my passport expired, so I went to Staples, got a passport photo lickety-split. While I was there, I grabbed some tiny travel soap and shampoo. Yeah, feeling fresh as a daisy.
Staples has everything for travel. 10-minute passport photos, luggage, headphones, even personal travel items. And now at Staples, get 20% off your in-store purchase when you buy any travel service. Plus, travel-size Purell hand sanitizer is just 49 cents. Get all set to jet at Staples. Offers end 4/22. In-store only. Exclusions apply.
Hurry and shop the final days of SpringFest at Lowe's. Ready to get started on your spring planting? Right now, get select Bonnie 19.3-ounce vegetables and herbs, 3 for $12. Save on indoor updates, too, with up to 40% off select bathroom faucets and vanities. Shop Lowe's today, because Lowe's knows spring. Valid through 4/26. Bonnie offer available in-store only. Actual plant size varies. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. While supplies last.
Sponsored by Northern Tool and Equipment. Whether you are spraying down the shop or getting winter's grime off your own home, a pressure washer from Northern Tool says you're serious about spring cleaning. From all-electric Power Horse to Honda-powered Northstar models, they've got the right machine for any type of clean. Northern Tool and Equipment, we're made for this.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
You can pick out every detail of your remodel.
That one. Or that one?
That one. No, wait, that one. But you never really know what it will look like until...
Well...
not what I imagined. CHW Cabinetry understands. Not being able to visualize what your new space will look like can be stressful, but our photorealistic renderings leave nothing to the imagination, and our job site book makes sure everyone's on the same page. Literally. Learn more at chwcabinetry.com. CHW Cabinetry. Passion from inspiration to installation.
Not even the most well-kept homes are immune to termites, so call Dodson Pest Control. With over 75 years of experience, they will make sure your home is looking good inside and outside your walls. Visit DodsonBROS.com to find an office near you. Dodson, the pest professionals you trust.
Let's take second title to prove credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. JT's Kia just received nearly 200 new Kias fresh off the truck, and we're trying to move them quick. So while they last, you can get a spanking new Kia from $18,990. Drive the perfect SUV crossover, the Kia Sorento, for just $239 a month. And your credit problem is no longer a problem when you see JT. Don't miss these deals. Rush to JT's Kia, Killian Commons Parkway, jtskia.com.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, "Navage is the best thing I bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing." Or this one, "I use Navage every night. Could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better." Unquote. Those are 2 of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
And still having quite a slowdown there on I-26 eastbound at exit 85. At exit 85 or mile marker 85. The right lane is blocked after mile marker 85, also blocked. So the right lane essentially at mile marker 85 on I-26 eastbound is blocked and continues for a little ways. So it's going to be slow going through there, but at least one lane is open. But just allow a little extra time if you would. Also, we have an accident with injuries, Highway 601 at Leesburg Road. 86 will be our high today. Could see some isolated storms tomorrow, a high of 79. Warming up, though, right now it is 61 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence, knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Oh, I like the randoms. I mean, look, it's easy to dislike LeBron, right? Like, it's easy to dislike LeBron. I can kind of get the Aaron Rodgers thing. It's easy to dislike, say, a Kyrie or. I like the randoms. I like the randoms. AJ says currently Marcel Ozuna is my villain as a Braves fan because his blood alcohol level is higher than his batting average.
Yeah, see, and that's a thin line because obviously, Marcel has done some stuff several occasions off the field where it's kind of questionable behavior, but also you can't be doing things off the field and not producing on the field. So that's a double negative.
Aaron in Columbia, Warren Sapp was the guy that blindsided the Packer linebacker, Mark Clifton. Thank you. And he says also Sapp was a great villain.
Sapp was a tremendous villain. Also on that line of I think I like this dude, but man, he could be a villain.
My buddy Nick from Lexington weighs in. He says Phil Mickelson. Since joining Live, he's been elevated to super villain. Got extra superpowers. He rose up there a little bit.
And it's kind of like Thanos because he's just gathering golfers from PGA Tour, kind of putting them together in this Live thing. Not to mention that terrible mugshot picture of him having a long weekend. So Phil's up there for sure.
I like this. Kevin weighs in. I like it really when people break it down, too, because Kevin says Eli Manning, the way he looks, the way he talks, everything. And he single-handedly lost me a fantasy championship in the day back in the year.
Eli's a great one. Eli.
Oh, he said in back-to-back years. Eli lost him in back-to-back years. Oh, yeah. That was – and then this is one of my favorites here because I had to look this guy up to see who it was. Anonymous texter goes, Luis Suarez. There's something funny about watching that man bite people over sports. Very good.
Any soccer fans listen, there was the dude that was headbutting folks. I want to say it was Zidane, but I don't remember correctly. But I know he headbutted people. That puts you on the list firmly.
Again, yeah, I like that. What did you say? Zinedine Zidane?
I think that was him.
I'm reading more of these because I like the randoms. Like, again, it's easy to go and pick out, a couple of the ones we all know. I like the randoms. Anonymous texture goes Kendrick Perkins. Don't ask.
Oh yeah.
Justin goes Cody Rhodes in all caps, and it says, "The heck is that stupid neck tattoo, Cody?" What I can only assume is a Clemson fan or an Alabama fan goes with Steven Garcia.
Oh yeah, for sure. If he wasn't ours, he would 100% be on that list.
Steven. I was reading an interesting text tweet from him last night where somebody just went off on him. And then this is another good one. Just the whole 90s area Knicks, all villains, just all of them.
100%.
And they did have, because you had was it Antoine Mason?
Yeah, Anthony Mason.
Anthony Mason.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Mason. Yeah, he was.
They had Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, who these two dudes, we're not even sure if they actually ever dribbled. They just sharpened up their elbows and went in the game and beat people up. So they were villains also, but what was interesting about them, they were fighting the other villain was Michael Jordan. He's a super villain. And somehow we love this guy, but we need to understand that he, under any other circumstances, Michael Jordan would 100% be a villain.
He would be, for punching Steve Kerr alone. He would be covered so differently 25 years later.
Absolutely.
He would be covered incredibly so differently than he was. 803-404-6100. John Starks also part of this.
Starks was good. I think also the idea of the villains, sometimes they may not, and this is where Draymond may be getting a little bit of this from. Sometimes they just maybe not the most skilled of player.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It's just you're like, I'm as good as that guy. Well, I watch Max Strus play for the Heat a lot, and I'm like, how is this guy in the? He had 31 about a week ago in a play-in game, and I still haven't figured out how he got to. I was like, that's a misprint on the the way that's right. 803-404-6100. Keep sending in your randoms. We like the randoms. Just play
while we're here. My mother greatly dislikes Jimmy Butler.
For what?
She thinks he's arrogant. She doesn't like my mother's two biggest sports villains. I've said this before: Jimmy Butler and Baker Mayfield. She calls him that Baker boy, and she does not like Baker Mayfield at all.
I can see where he'd rub people the wrong way.
She does not like Baker Mayfield. Baker boy. She said, "Ooh, that Baker boy."
I like this. Another anonymous texter weighs in. Not sure if he's still playing, but Josh Norman really irked my nerves.
Fair. Let's collide supervillains with Cam Newton and Josh Norman fighting. A tremendous when Cam Newton had Josh Norman holding him by the throat while smiling.
It's like, what was it? Predator versus what was
Predator versus Alien?
Alien, yeah. Just nobody liked any of them. They'd already just ripped up the world, and it was just those two left. Yeah, it's 803. Send in your randoms.
Josh Norman's a great one though, because he talked tremendous amount of trash, and seems that we're hearing a lot of DBs on this list of annoying football players. I wonder why.
803-404-6100 is another one. We go with Gary Payton, the glove. Payton talked a lot. I loved Gary Payton.
Yeah, he talked a lot.
The best. There's a great documentary. It's probably very rarely shown anymore, but it's on the Supersonics back then. And when that team they had that was Payton and Kemp, obviously, they had Detlef Shrimp, but it talks about Gary Payton would get bored in there talking trash to the other team, so he would start talking trash to Sean Kemp. And in the doc, I forget, they're interviewing somebody from the Trailblazers, and he said you didn't want them to get bored talking trash to you. If they were talking trash to you, you felt okay. He goes, what would happen is it would get scary. Payton and Kemp would start talking trash to each other, and they'd be running down the court, cussing each other out, and you're on the other team going, what's happening? Why are they yelling at each other? But Gary Payton, a really good one. 803-404.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, keep sending. I'll get to some more of these. But last night, South Carolina 13-3 over Florida. Kevin O'Sullivan is a guy that South Carolina fans have kind of labeled a villain. A little emotional. Former Clemson coach is a guy that South Carolina fans love beating up on him and Tim Corbin. Probably the two in baseball. South Carolina got the first one last Friday night against Vanderbilt before losing the next two, or that was Thursday night, then losing the next two Friday, Saturday. They get the one last night, 13-3. We'll give you some more updates on that. I see a lot of you weighing in. I see a Paul Pierce.
Oh yeah, Paul Pierce is very high up there, not only for his handicap antics when he was in the wheelchair, just his general disposition when he plays. What annoyed me about Paul Pierce the most is that he didn't have any muscles. I couldn't understand how somebody that good at basketball could just not have a muscle in his body.
Yeah, Paul, he was a really odd one. This is an old school one. Bill Laimbeer and Rick Mahorn. Those guys were those guys were villains. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in this one. I'll get to more of these. A lot of you are weighing in with some really good ones, and we'll read those off, see if we can come up with the most obscure villain.
It's a combination of random and annoyance, and a very personal and very random annoyance can win.
803-404. Now we'll get to more of these as we roll along, talk a little more baseball. We got our weekend review that Jen has worked on. all the great sound from this week that you might have missed. Anything you missed on the early game coming up as well. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We are very social.
At 107.5 The Game on Twitter, 107.5 The Game on Instagram, and 107.5 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
It started off chilly out here this morning. Preston had a kitty cat blanket on him. I put on shoes instead of sandals, and now it is starting to warm up. And you know what? That's just not out here at the golf course. That's all over. Your heating and air unit are going to get an absolute workout. And if it's not prepared for the summer months of Columbia, you've got a little bit of time left to get in touch with AAA Heating and Air. Get them out to your house now and get that brand new heating and air unit. Trust me, you're going to want this because right now AAA Heating and Air have got incredible deals going on with the Inflation Reduction Act that you can save up to $5,300. Let me repeat that, $5,300 in savings. Plus, for certain buyers, you can get 0% financing. How do you save $5,300? You ask. Well, number one, right now the Inflation Reduction Act is offering tax credits of up to $3,800, and on top of that, AAA Heating and Air offers you a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit. $3,800, $1,500, well, that's $53. That's how you can save $5,300 right now on a brand new heating and air unit. Call AAA Heating and Air 803-677-1500. You can get a free estimate to see what the comfort advisors at AAA Heating and Air can do for you. You don't want to miss this deal. If you've been thinking about purchasing a brand new heating and air unit, there's not going to be a better time. You need to call today, 803-677-1500. Take advantage of these incredible offers, including with AAA Heating and Air, a 15-year parts and labor warranty. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this. Call AAA Heating and Air today to find out what they can do. You can get a free estimate. 803-677-1500. Call AAA Heating and Air. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
Let's text and title with approved credit call 866-243-4623 for details. JT means Jeeps and trucks. The biggest Jeep and truck selection in South Carolina is at JT's Jeep Ram Lexington. Get your new 2023 Jeep Wrangler now. Save $5,000 off. Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, Compass, Wagoneer. New Jeeps up to $7,500 off. New Rams up to $11,000 off. Shaky credit, don't sweat it. JT says you're approved. JT means Jeeps and trucks. 378 Lexington. JT'sJeepRam.com. Jeep celebration event.
If you have an IRS problem, getting accurate legal advice could help get all this behind you right now. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. To get the best results for our clients, we stay on top of the law and the IRS rules and regulations. It's important to us to get you back on track and in compliance legally without worry for your future. At the Ecton Law Firm, we've handled hundreds of cases for everyday hardworking people like you right here in the Carolinas. Don't face the IRS alone. Know your legal rights. Call me to set up your appointment. The first visit is completely free and confidential. You'll meet with a licensed attorney in person at our office in Irmo, just off I-26. If you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, John Ecton, at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to EctonLawFirm.com. Carolinas, if you have an IRS issue, you need a local attorney. You need me, John Ecton.
That's the sound of the Doorbuster pricing event going on now at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. Gotta go to Galliana Chrysler Jeep is making deals so good, they're breaking down the doors. Lease a new 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee for $333 per month. Yes, a new Jeep Grand Cherokee for $333 per month. Lease a new Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, or Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid and get $10,000 off. Plus, we'll take any trade in any condition at Galliana Chrysler Jeep. All trade-ins are welcome. Don't miss these doorbuster deals. Lease a new Jeep Grand Cherokee for just $333 per month. The sooner you come in, the more you save during the Jeep celebration event at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. I-126 Zoo exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com. Stock number 37048. 24-month lease, $39.99 down plus tax and tag to it sign. Includes $225 closing fee, no security deposit. Subject to lender approval. Offers don't combine. Expires month ahead.
At Kroger, we want our fresh produce to meet your expectations, which is why we're dedicated to doing up to a 27-point inspection on our fruits and veggies, checking for things like scarring. In fact, only the best produce like like zesty oranges and crisp carrots reach our shelves. Because when it comes to fresh, our higher standards mean fresher produce. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save even more on your favorites. Simply mix and match 5 or more participating items and get them for just 99 cents each during our 99-cent sale going on now.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everybody, on this Friday, it's time for another First Alert traffic update for your morning. Listen up if you travel on I-26 eastbound, because on I-26 eastbound, there is a crash reported from exit 85, causing slowdowns all the way back to exit 91, SC48, Columbia Avenue. Again, there's a crash near exit 85, I-26 eastbound, causing some problems. Seemingly, the right lane closed. They're working to get that back open. Other than that, typical traffic around the Midlands into the Columbia area. Hope it's a great travel day for you. Otherwise, make it a great Friday. This has been a WIS First Alert Traffic Update. I am meteorologist Tony Schiavaroli.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
8:37 on a Friday morning. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne from Fort Jackson Golf Club here for the McDaniels Golf Classic taking place later today. Also, a reminder that the halftime show will be live at Chubby's in Blythewood, McNulty Street, out there promoting our craft beer passport. 38 craft beers for just $99. It's a $285 value for just $99. Go to 1075thegame.com. Click on Sweet Deals for more information. You can get out, and it's, again, a great deal. I will admit, I don't drink craft beer. Stick with the bourbon. But if you do drink craft beer, this is something you're going to want to sign up for, the Craft Beer Passport. 38 beers, $99, a $285 value for just $99. Again, you can go to 1075thegame.com, click on Sweet Deals, and get more information. And you can go visit Jay and Terry later today out at Chubby's, McNulty Street in Blythewood. They'll be out there hanging out. Make Jay Phillips sing a little song, sing a little tune. Who's the bigger villain, Jay or Terry? Terry looks like a villain.
Oh, it's definitely
Jay looks like his sidekick.
No, Jay's the baby face, Terry's the villain.
Okay.
Terry's the heel for sure.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah,
I don't know,
both.
but Jay likes to fight. You
Does
know, like
he?
he likes to mix it up. I don't necessarily fight, but he likes to debate. So
He does, yes.
I don't know if that makes him a villain necessarily. I don't know.
Superpower is the use of the written language or the word. He is a quite yes. I can see the two of them. They don't fight crime. They create crime throughout the city.
Crime.
Jay and Terry, you can go see them creating crime out at Chubby's today in Blythewood. Go by and visit them, McNulty Street.
Creating crime. Because on the other hand, I kind of also see them both being kind of
Jay at heart is a soccer hooligan.
a soccer hooligan. Okay. I was thinking they were just kind of more of a soft touch.
He would fit in well creating mischief over there for Arsenal, just doing all kinds of stuff. So yes, Jay at heart is a soccer hooligan wrapped in an American's body. That's really what it is. Jay overseas for soccer would be a big villain. Let me get you a few more of these. I like this one. Ron from Lake Marion. Pedro Martinez did secure a place in the villain world when he threw down poor old Don Zimmerman to the ground. Yankees coach Don Zimmerman had to take a tumble because Pedro Martinez went all WWE on him.
I'm not going to say Don Zimmer deserved it, but you know what I'm saying? I mean,
he played the old man card. I'm an old man.
Hey, listen, you ran up in the wrong spot, man. You should have. Old man should have just stayed in this place. I'm not going to say he deserved it.
Is it weird? Don Zimmerman always looks like the guy who had to help protect Robert De Niro in like Casino. Remember the guy that was like the casino manager,
Frankie 2 times,
and then showed up at Robert De Niro's house in Casino with the guns at the very end of the movie.
But the placement of Pedro Martinez is how you got both hands on Don Zimmer's head and tossed it to the side. It's tremendous.
Let's see. John weighs in, says there's no greater villain in college athletics than Tennessee. They invented baseball last year. They never let you forget they won the national title in 1998. When they fail, everyone in the country has a better day.
Fair.
Let's go.
Heupel has a very not likable face.
He does. Yes. Patrick Pratt's still taking grief for calling him a dork.
I'm with that.
Yeah. Let's see here. NASCAR, Jen. This is from anonymous texter. NASCAR goes Joey Logano. Are you in agreement there? We'll get Jen's take on this. I say old school. This is not too old school, but this is another really good villain. Actually, SEC basketball player from Mississippi. Marshall Henderson.
Yes, I remember him. I remember him.
A really David weighs in with that. That is a very good
pick. That's a good call. I couldn't remember his name, but I do remember him.
Very good old school villain there that we're going with. Yep, Chris goes with John Starks. I can agree with you on that. As a Heat fan who had to deal with those Knicks. Anonymous texter goes with Kurt Rambis, and then from 80s wrestling, Jim Cornette and his tennis racket.
Oh, yeah. Jim Cornette, man, used to bring that tennis racket down. I don't even know if they have – this is more for the wrestling conversation. We might have to get Tyler in it, but do they still have managers? Is that a thing? I don't –
Hype men, managers.
Like the managers kind of walking down with the crew, and I don't know if they've been phased out.
I think your manager is now manager/wrestler, because isn't it like Roman Reigns? I don't follow close enough. But he's part of this Bloodline network. Yeah, they all come out together.
No, we need somebody who's specifically the manager.
It was the under Paul Bear.
Paul Bear
for the under. Yes.
Now you cooking. Bro.
Yeah, there we go. A very good random one who I have nothing about. We'll have to do some research. This is from anonymous texter who we appreciate. First time ever texting in. Love it when we get a first time texter. Most hated random player is Hector Herrera with the Mexican national team. He is reckless when he plays and fouls constantly, then rolls on the ground and cries to the red when he gets fouled.
Hector Herrera. It's just what I love about these so much is that these folks are just randomly taking up space in your brain like that person. I'm surprised nobody has mentioned. I know women's basketball, Sophie Cunningham was absolute villain for Missouri. She took up a lot of brain space in women's basketball fans for sure. We have another one.
Well, I got to. All right, the wrestling conversation will come up at some point, and we will definitely have to get. Justin says Paul Heyman is the manager in WWE now, so he's the one that does it. And anonymous text. There is a lot of shit. This is honestly why Tennessee needs to stay on South Carolina's schedule. Like, quite honestly, if you were to, I'm not sure if you didn't say who is the bigger rival now, Georgia or Tennessee in football? And you did that thing where you got to pick the three teams. I'm not sure Tennessee isn't more at the top of that list, because anonymous texter says, I agree with Tennessee. Their fans throwing shade at Texas because they actually think they are UT. Every poll shows otherwise.
Well, we have to be careful with that. We have to be careful with that because, there's another school with our three letters, and majority of the country would say that the other school represents these three letters more than we do. So we have to be careful with that one.
A lot of great contributions. When we come back, it is the weekend review. All the stuff you've missed from this week's early game, you want to make sure you hear it. All the great audio. You're listening to the early game. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Zinson. We'll be back after this.
7.5 The Game On Demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics in Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
You would never share a great dinner with a villain, but you might share one with your family. They're not villains. Your family's not villains, and they should be treated like loved family members. So when you go to fix dinner tonight, this weekend, you need to take care of your family by stopping by Old Timey Meat Market, whether it's at the dining room table or if you're having a weekend party, doing a little grilling tonight for a big baseball game. Old Timey Meat Market has got you covered with the absolute best grades of beef, pork, poultry, seafood, exotic meats. Their selections are always fresh, never frozen, and they're competitively priced and of the absolute highest quality. Trust me, I know this. I love Old Timey Meat Market. I'll be making my Friday stop there here in just a little while. Pick up some chicken salad, put that on a little tortilla with some hot sauce. It'll make for a fantastic Friday afternoon snack. Austin's birthday was yesterday. I got to get a bacon-wrapped filet for him to enjoy tonight as part of a birthday dinner. I've got to get some Southern biscuits that are in the freezer that you can throw in the oven tomorrow morning. Takes about 15 minutes. They go great with a little jelly on them, or you can make a little breakfast sandwich with eggs and bacon. Speaking of bacon, Old Timey Meat Market, incredible selection of bacon. I'm telling you what, whatever you want, Old Timey Meat Market has got it. How about this one, Preston? Have you ever had alligator?
No, I have not.
Alligator. Old Timey Meat Market has a great selection of alligator tail meat. You can put it in you can grill it, you can season it. I'm telling you what, we've done that several times. Old Timey Meat Market, incredible. 3 locations: South Congaree, St. Andrews, and the one I'll be at later today, Lexington. Go by and see Old Timey Meat Market for your weekend needs. I'm telling you what, they can't be beat. Go see Old Timey Meat Market. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
Sponsored by Midland Air Service Experts. Did you know that HVAC maintenance can help lower greenhouse emissions? That's why they are giving away free precision tune-ups for a limited time. Help the planet and commit to less emit. Call Midland Air Service Experts today at 866-EXPERTS to schedule your HVAC maintenance.
At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we know how serious injuries change people's lives. I'm Jason Reynolds. When you're involved in a major car or truck accident, my team is on your side. You don't have to be alone. Let's do this together.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When you're hurt at work, my team is with you from start to finish. We're people with a passion for helping injured workers. Bring your case to us and stop the worry. We've got this.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Breathe easier with Zerorez Air Duct Cleaning. For this month only, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get $30 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR30 when scheduling online at ZerorezColumbia.com.
Plus, text second title with approved credit call 888-320-6359 for details. JT's Kia just received nearly 200 new Kias fresh off the truck, and we're trying to move them quick. So while they last, you can get a spanking new Kia from $18,990. Drive the perfect SUV crossover, the Kia Sorento, for just $239 a month. And your credit problem is no longer a problem when you see JT. Don't miss these deals. Rush to JT's Kia, Killian Commons Parkway, jtskia.com.
Hey Gamecocks, Ben Cato, third generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. Is your landscaping business losing valuable hours to pushing and trimming backyards and tight spaces? Introducing the Gravely Z-Stands. With deck sizes starting at 32 inches, these compact moors feature a commercial Kawasaki engine and a 7-gauge cutting deck. With compact moors come a compact price. We have models starting at just $71.99. The Gravely Z stance is sure to be your favorite new employee. Come check them out today at Cato's Power Equipment, 4012 West Beltline Boulevard.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey, everybody, on this Friday, it's time for another First Alert traffic update for your morning. Listen up if you travel on I-26 eastbound, because on I-26 eastbound, there is a crash reported from exit 85, causing slowdowns all the way back to exit 91, SC48, Columbia Avenue. Again, there's a crash near exit 85, I-26 eastbound, causing some problems. Seemingly, the right lane closed. They're working to get that back open. Other than that, typical traffic around the Midlands into the Columbia area. Hope it's a great travel day for you. Otherwise, make it a great Friday. This has been a WIS First Alert Traffic Update. I am meteorologist Tony Schiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
1075 The Game.
It's that time of week. Final segment on a Friday. We want you to hear everything you've missed this week. All the laughter, the jokes, any moronic comments from myself.
Yep.
Jen's worked. I sense that there's going to be a couple. It's been a good week for me. Jen has worked hard on our week in review. Here is what all you've missed from the early game this past week. The theme of this show. I don't know what happened. You're an idiot, Gunner. JC is a big Roadhouse guy. Are you a Roadhouse? Preston still got his blanket with cats on it.
Kitties. Tremendous. We are officially in petty season. College football is back, baby.
Well, yeah.
Are you okay? Okay. All right.
Yeah. I was just taking a swig of Cherry Coke Zero here.
No, nothing like that bright and early at 6:30 in the morning.
There's no bourbon in it.
Some people get very agitated when you say, it's not fall. It's not fall when it's 103 in August. It's not fall. You're an idiot, Gunner.
I don't usually agree with you, Bill. You need to come up with a nickname for yourself, like something cowboy, like Biscuit Cowboy or something.
I have a lot of nicknames for him.
But which one can you put cowboy on the end of, so the next time he meets him, he's like, "Hey, cornbread, it's me, Biscuit," like something like that.
Hush puppy. Hush puppy Gunner. You're an idiot, Gunner. And I was purchasing a beer, and he was there, and I didn't know who he was, and
he didn't know who you were, and oh my
so
gosh,
it was two celebrities passing two ships in the night, just crazy.
What world are we living?
Trying to survive, working with the Donut Cowboy in here. Bottom of the 8th, 2 outs, second and third, you're down a run. And let's say you got the second baseman who's hitting, 265 up there. You send out your magic bat. I can pick anybody in my lineup. That's the rule. I don't want just the manager going out to the home plate umpire. Manager's got to put on a cape.
Okay.
Little hat.
Uh-huh.
And you got one of those smoke bombs.
And he appears.
And you come to the top of the dugout and you spike your smoke bomb, and it's just like throwing a flag. Announcers go crazy. Oh, we got it's the magic batter. You're an idiot, Gunner.
You know what that is, Bill?
I have no clue.
That is the sound of the bandy whistle.
Oh, that guy.
Get him out of here.
Yes. When you stop running for donuts, Jen, You're pretty much not running anymore.
Okay, whatever.
What's worse? Somebody's hand is sticky when you shake them, or their hand is moist when you shake it?
And how many people have an aversion to you even using the word moist?
Oh, for sure.
Win if you can, lose if you must. Always cheat.
Bill, this idea is full on stupid.
Thank you.
I'm going to say that.
If we don't sweep them, we don't go 3-0. We're gonna go 2-1, and that's gonna make us 31, 33, and 33 and 7. And then we're gonna get on the second half of the season, and we're gonna win 50-something games this year. We're gonna start taking.
All right, into the break.
Wow, that is as professional as it gets.
You're an idiot, Gunner. After last year's debacle, I'm not even
The
running the
donut
risk.
debacle.
Yeah, and then like I show up the next day, there's just an empty box, like a couple sprinkles left in there, but
We celebrated you, Bill.
the halftime show celebrated.
So you guys aren't gonna just snuggle, like I can
The-
see you
the
two
sun-
kind of huddled. And,
We are a little bit closer than we normally are in studio right now. There is.
It hasn't reached that cold yet. Jim.
Yeah. It's,
I'm not above that, but it's not that we're not that dire.
That's right. Hey, my man.
Throw that in the garbage.
You're an idiot, Gunner. I think we found a new hotkey for Jen this week. So is the overriding? Jen sent me a text that said the weekend review's 3 minutes 55 seconds. All of a sudden, I got to scratch that. It's 4:39. No wonder she just kept adding "you're an idiot, Gunner" in, and it took up an extra 44 seconds to get all those in. Preston,
At the end of the week, I always just makes me more thankful for the listeners for even staying with us because, there's some shenanigans.
I like the magic batter. I still stand by that. That's a rule that we need to change. It's a rule we need to change. And Gamecock Larry, they play 56 games in the season, and he had them winning 57 in the regular season. Who knows?
That's a fan.
It's a fan. It's been fun. We've had a great week. We're gonna take 2 days off. We'll be back on Monday. Preston, great job. Thanks, Jen.
sir.
Thank you for everything in studio. We'll see y'all Monday.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service. Pioneer Tree Service has more than 4 decades of helping homeowners maintain and manage trees on their property. Their skilled crew offers customized solutions that match your needs and budget. Tree trimming and tree removal can be dangerous. You need to trust the people that are doing the job. Before attempting to remove limbs, call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote. They remove limbs safely and make sure that future growth is directed away from potential trouble areas such as roof lines and driveways. Cutting down trees takes more than a chainsaw. Even branches can weigh thousands of pounds, and their removal must be handled with care. Pioneer Tree Service offers a full complement of state-of-the-art heavy equipment, from track hose to bucket trucks to safely remove trees and stumps from your property. And no matter where you live, the Gantt girls can get there. And I want you to call them at 803-794-8250.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
The Guttermen have been providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 47 years, building their business on relationships, not gimmicks. And you can call them